It's 6 o'clock, I'm Jessica Cooper. The headlines: Penn School won't reopen, claims homelessness in Milton Keynes is greatly underestimated, and new free schools announced for the three counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The fight to save Penn School near High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire has been lost. Parents were hoping a buyer would be found to keep the special school open. It went into administration in July, just 2 weeks before the end of term. Our reporter Catherine Boyle has been following this story.
Parents tried to raise £1 million to keep the school open for almost 80 deaf and autistic children who attended. Since its closure, they've been struggling to find suitable school places elsewhere. Some have waited in the hope that the school will reopen. The administrators, Deloitte, confirmed yesterday evening that they've not been able to secure a viable offer for the school as a going concern.
A Milton Keynes charity claims the homelessness problem in the town is being greatly underestimated. The council believes there are 24 confirmed rough sleepers, but Help Our Homeless MK says it's near 150. Nicola Hassler reports.
Connor Edwards, who uses a wheelchair, was living in a bin cupboard in Milton Keynes. He says because he's a single man, the council didn't consider him a priority for housing. Janet Paddison from Luton is being housed with her 4-year-old daughter in a hotel in Milton Keynes, but she's due to start school in Luton this week. And 19-year-old Abby Reynolds is 28 weeks pregnant but sofa surfing because the council can't find her a home anywhere near where she lives.
NHS staff are to be offered health checks to try to cut absence rates. Staff sickness is thought to cost the NHS in England almost £2.5 billion a year. The BBC has learned that the government will announce significant changes today to its proposed rules for the referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union. Many Conservative MPs have complained that plans to suspend laws stopping ministers using public money to campaign in the final month of a referendum would make the poll unfair. 3 new free schools for the three counties have been approved by the government. They include a new secondary school for Luton and several primary schools in Hertfordshire. Our political reporter Paul Scoynes has more.
St Anne's High School for Girls will open in Luton in 2017 and take 750 students when full, specialising in sciences, technology, engineering and maths. 2 religious schools are planned for Hertfordshire, the Hearts International Christian School in Welwyn Garden City, taking 630 4 to 11-year-olds, and the Jewish Yavneh Primary School in Boreham Wood, set up by the Yavneh College Academy. The 3 schools are among 18 being announced across the country by the Department for Education.
In sport, Luton Town are through to the second round of the Johnston's Paint Trophy after last night's 2-1 home win against Leyton Orient. Danny Green opened the scoring in the first half with a late goal from Stephen O'Donnell. And the weather, some sunny spells this morning with scattered showers developing later, some heavy showers with the risk of thunder, highs of 18 degrees Celsius. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Cups and cakes, oh what good things Mother makes. You've got to take tea, won't you take it with me? What a gay time it will be. Cups and cakes, please make sure that nothing breaks. The china's so dear and the treacle's so clear, and I'm glad that you are here. Milk and sugar, bread and jam, yes please sir, and thank you ma'am, here I am. Cups and cakes, I'm so full my tummy aches. How sad it must end, but I'm glad I'd a friend sharing cups and cakes with me, and cakes with
me. Residing in the Where Are They Now files. 03459 455 555. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. I've got a What's the Story Morning Glory for us to play. So I've actually looked at the papers today. The paper boy did a hit and run. Instead of, I don't know, ringing the doorbell and letting us know he was there, he just kind of snuck up ninja style, dropped his load, and then scooted off. And the reason he did that, he was late. That's why he did it. It was late. Speaking of ninjas, my boys weren't very well yesterday, so I bought some comics, to kind of shut them up. And one of them, hang on a second. Let's just get this out of the way. Here we go.
Hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, one of them was a comic called Toxic.
Oh.
Now, I'd not read... All I knew was it had a picture of a minion on the front.
Yeah.
And it had some free stuff on the front. That's all I knew, right? It's called
like
Toxic.
all magazines at the moment.
And it was the first story was about a guy who kept farting. And the second story was a guy who kept farting, and then someone was hassling him, so he zapped him with his earwax.
Oh.
It was horrible.
I think I've read that.
And then the next comic, it was a Lego comic, right? And it showed my boy how to turn his T-shirt into a ninja top, into a ninja mask. That was actually quite cool.
That's quite cool. I'd like to read that.
I can show you how to do it.
Can you bring it in?
No, just take your top off and I'll show you. Why are you laughing, geezer?
Straight in there. Love it.
I don't know why you're freestyling with magazines anyway. You want to go Beano.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Beano.
No, the thing about the Beano, and I'm going to say this
is you don't
again.
get any free gifts.
No,
Just
no.
read it, kid.
No. The thing about the Beano, I used to read the Beano. I used to read the Beano and the Dandy. I signed up to all the clubs, got the annual. I thought annual meant it took a year to read, and I was like chuffed when I'd read it by Christmas afternoon. The thing about the Beano and the Dandy, and I'm going to say it, they were a load of old cud. They were rubbish.
No.
Nothing happened. It wasn't until Oink came along that I went, oh, the jokes in comics can actually be funny. You read those jokes in the Beano and the Dandy, you go, oh, that's a joke. Right, that's a joke. Yep. Oh, that's a joke. You read them in Oink, you went, oh, yes.
You know you're not its target audience anymore.
No, even when I was a kid, I was never suckered into thinking that the Beano and the Dandy were any good.
My 7-year-old loves the Beano. She keeps her quiet for about 2 minutes while she reads it. It's very thin now.
What's that? You're miming a drug cigarette there, Kelly. Can I ask
What are you
why?
saying there?
Walter the Softie.
Softy Walter.
It's just... you never read comics. You're probably reading Roy the Rovers.
Football magazines, mate, and football programmes. This is where you've missed out.
I hope you had a really good deadline day yesterday.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah. Sadly...
Don't have to go any further.
Okay. Right.
It's literally all I was
going to say.
No, that's it.
Just one thing?
No.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I want to know.
No, you can have it off air.
Do you know what I wish they would do? Deadline day for radio stations. We could all sort of start pacing around, seeing if anyone else is going to nab us.
Well...
Because I'm open.
I've just had my deadline day, and let's just say, signature the ink is still fresh. Hello, you all right?
Yeah, I'm right.
That's the chair that collapses.
Oh, thanks.
I tell you what I'm going to do, Just.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's do this because we're
whatever you want.
Whatever you. Hey, you got Squeeze coming on today.
Yeah, Glenn Tilbrook.
Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze coming on 8:30. Very excited. The new Squeeze single, thank God, is good. Because there's always that thing when you play a new single from someone and you think, oh, flip it.
This is great. So tell us more about the song.
It's good. It's a good song.
Good.
And then this afternoon, and I'm not saying on air, but I'm interviewing a rock and roll legend.
Are you?
More hits than the Beatles.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you was going to say Clem Cattini, the drummer. That's a great question. He's had more number ones than the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Buddy Holly put together.
You're thinking literal hits.
Yeah.
Good work.
Okay, I'm going to turn your fader off now. Going to keep yours open?
Thank you.
I'm going to turn it off, actually. I'm going to keep yours open.
Thanks, boss.
You're very, very welcome. Now, 7 weeks ago, the parents of a group of deaf and autistic children were told it would probably be wise to look for somewhere else for their kids to go to school. Administrators had moved into Sell Penn School, and the hope was that parents could raise enough money to buy it, at least in the short term. Well, that didn't work out. So, with no word at all from the trustees, can we do what I like to do, Catherine? Can we get the list of all the trustees, just so we can just say these are the people who didn't want to come on the air and talk to us, or didn't want to meet any of the parents and talk to them? I think it's nice.
I will phone them this morning.
Give them a call. So they give us a statement. The trustees who ran the school, families could only wait for the administrators to go through various possible deals with the companies. Well, it's bad news. Justin, we got an email last night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this was an email that was sent to us by one of the parents fighting to save the school. That person forwarded us the email. It was sent by Deloitte, the administrators. The administrator said, "We are unfortunately not able to secure a viable offer for the school as an ongoing concern." Now, they say as well they will be issuing a full press release this morning to the media, but that's it. So now the school will be sold to the highest bidder. Penn School is unfortunately no more. When I found out about this last night, I'll be honest with you, we're meant to be impartial, but I was absolutely gutted.
They've been giving us the runaround. The families have had a tough time, haven't they?
Absolutely. 60 children were due to be going there in September, which of course is now. A lot of them were hanging on. So, according to our figures, around 40 of those children, we believe, still haven't got a place for them to go to school.
Some teachers, all the teachers have lost their jobs. Some have lost their homes as well, because some lived on site, didn't they? Some of the carers.
They did, and of course, at the time, we spoke to parents live outside the school on the last day of term. They were told, well, if you go and take another job and Penn School reopens, you could be in breach of contract as well. We were told that on the actual morning.
Brilliant.
So, it's been a horrible experience for
guys.
them, because they loved working there at the school. They loved the children as well. And, of course, the Penn School will be no more.
OK, well, if you put in a call to the trustees later on, we'll get the list of the names of all the trustees who refused to speak to us so far, refused to speak to the parents, refused to look them in the eye. But you had an email from the administrators a couple of weeks ago that you were keeping confidential, but you can tell us what that email said.
Yeah, we can now. I went to a meeting with the parents. I managed to get into that meeting again with Deloitte, the administrator, and he said to me, look, we've got confidential information here. You shouldn't be at this meeting, even though the parents invited me. They want to be there. So I said, look, OK, let's stick to the deal here. We'll keep this confidential. But what happened was that they had 6 interested parties to buy the school.
Yep.
That then went down to 1. And they were hopeful of a deal, but what they were hoping was going to happen was that business, a commercial business, would have had to have been turned into a charity to have bought the school at a lower rate.
Okay.
So they were hoping to do that deal. That was the last offer on the table. That was the last chance saloon. That, unfortunately, for whatever reason we don't know, hasn't worked out.
Have you got the trustees' names, Catherine?
No, I'm finding it really hard to... I hope it's not been taken off. I'll keep looking.
Have a look. We'll read out the names. Justin, if you could put in a phone call, that would be awesome. Terrible news. 03459 455 555.
Wash away my troubles, wash away my pain, with the rain and Shambhala. Wash away my sorrow, wash away my shame, with the rain and Shambhala. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Come on. It's Three Dog Night. Shambhala. Shambhala. That's a song they recorded in between doing massive amounts of cocaine. Oh, yeah. Those guys. 03459 455 555. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Hertford on the A10, the road has been closed between the A414 at Hertford and the Hoddesdon roundabout because there are some horses in the road. On the A505 Fish Ponds Road in Hitchin, that's closed in both directions while roadworks go on between Bedford Road and Bearton Avenue. And on the motorways, it's all moving fine so far. On the M1, though, there are roadworks between junction 12 for Flitwick and 11 for Dunstable, so expect queues there when it starts to get busier. On the 6:34 train from Luton to Sutton, it's been delayed because of some signalling problems near Wimbledon. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, loving it, Sammy. Loving it. I didn't listen, but the vibe that was she was emanating, sexy lady emanating such a vibe. If that's not a song, if that's not a lyric from a song about sexy lady emanating vibes, then man alive, I'm going to build a time machine, go back to 1973 and get funky now. That's what's going to happen. These are the headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. After weeks of uncertainty, it's been confirmed that Penn School near High Wycombe won't be reopening. And a Milton Keynes charity claims the homelessness problem in the town is being greatly underestimated.
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
So we're now in 1996. The Stone Roses get back together to headline the festival. They end up playing their worst gig of all time.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
Warning, you are losing vast days of your life to the after effects of heavy drinking.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
You've been crowned the first ever World Masters champion in the over 80s category for the Scottish Highlander Games.
That's right, yeah.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed.
What a way to open a theatrical hour here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
What a mix of voices.
Ahí vamos.
Déjame atravesar el viento sin documentos, que lo haré por el tiempo que tuvimos. Porque no queda salida, porque pareces dormida, porque buscando tu sonrisa estaría toda mi vida. Quiero ser el único que te muerda la boca. Quiero saber que la vida contigo no va a terminar. Déjame que te cierre esta noche los ojos y mañana vendré con un cigarro a la cama. Porque no tengo más intenciones que seguir bebiendo de esta copa que no está tan rota. Quiero ser el único que te muerda la boca. Quiero saber que la vida contigo no va a terminar. Porque sí, porque sí, porque sí. Porque de esta vida no quiero pasar un día entero sin ti. Porque sí, porque sí, porque sí. Porque mientras espero por ti me muero y no quiero seguir así.
Start from my youngster. How do you work that one out?
Atravesar el viento sin documentos, que lo haré por el tiempo que tuvimos.
I don't know what I want to say.
Porque no queda salida, porque pareces dormida.
I'm ready to stroke it up.
Buscando tu sonrisa estaría toda mi vida. Quiero ser el único que te muerda la boca.
I Am Broken Britain.
Flipping heck. Who's that? Who the hell is Ginger Baker? Am I allowed to say sex?
Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are, sir. Feel really randy after that. Need to calm down, though. Got a guest on the line. Aylesbury Vale District Council is hoping to become the first council in the country to launch its own online community lottery. The weekly draw could raise money for local groups, with a jackpot of up to 20 grand. I'll have me some of that, please. Jane Mather is chair of Home Start Aylesbury, which is considering signing up to the Vale Lottery. She joins me now. Morning, Jane.
Good morning, Ian.
How does this work? Explain the thinking behind this.
Well, obviously I can't represent Aylesbury Vale District Council, but my understanding of how it works is they will set up the whole infrastructure, and charities are able to benefit in two ways. They could either sign up to run their own lottery, or they will also run the lottery, and then money that they raise will then go to good causes. So there'll be a big pot that will then be distributed amongst the others. So I understand there's two ways that local charities like ourselves could benefit.
And we'll find out more about what Home Start Aylesbury does in a second. But you're considering this. You've looked at the figures, and this looks like a viable fundraising method, does it?
Well, there aren't any figures out at the moment in terms of what we would need to do. It's very early days, and I understand that it's not going to be agreed until the 9th of September. But in principle, it sounds like a really creative way for a local authority to support local charities when budgets are being cut every which way, as we all know. So we're certainly supportive of the Vale looking into this. And yes, if my board think it's a good idea and all the details come out, we may well sign up for it.
And it's legit, is it, Jane? Because yesterday in the meeting, there were some people were saying that this sounds like a pyramid scheme, but that doesn't make sense because this isn't how a pyramid scheme works, is it?
No, I mean, I didn't actually see the debate myself, but my understanding is that it's run by a separate company, and the majority of the money that is raised actually goes to charity. So I understand that it's about 58 pence in each pound, which is greater than the National Lottery, which I understand is about 24 pence in a pound.
And
something like that, if I've got my figures right.
I think they sound like what I saw yesterday. How difficult is it for a charity, a smaller charity that isn't one of the NSPCC or the WWF, for a smaller charity like yourselves to raise money and to stand out?
Oh, it's really tough, Ian. I mean, we ourselves are mainly run by volunteers. We only have 2 members of staff, and if they spend any time supporting fundraising, then they can't support the families that we're there to actually provide a service to. So the fundraising mainly falls on the trustees, who are all part-time. A lot of us work as well as provide time free for the charity. And as I'm sure you're aware, people's pockets are, can't be as generous as they used to be, and there aren't the other sources around. So, for example, local authorities themselves don't have the funds. So it is really tough out there, particularly for small charities.
And what does Home Start Aylesbury do? How do you help people?
We work in the Aylesbury Vale area, and we provide volunteers to families within that area who need support, that are going through very difficult times. And the support that we provide is actually unique in that it's into their own homes. A volunteer will go in for a few hours a week, and although it doesn't sound very much, they're able to provide families who perhaps have got twins, a mother may be suffering from postnatal depression, disability, coming to terms with a diagnosis for themselves or somebody in the family, and we help them really sort of come to terms with what are life-changing things that have happened to them, but help them get back on their feet and really sort of get to cope with what's going to go on.
And what's the website, Jane, if people want to find out more?
If they just go on to a very well-known search engine, then if they just put Home Start Aylesbury in, we'll come up top of the search.
Brilliant. OK, Jane, thank you very much indeed. If you ask Jeeves about Home Start Aylesbury, or Google, I'm being flippant, then it sounds like they do excellent work. Jane, thank you very much indeed. Whoa! That started suddenly. Get me the phone number for Channel 5. I've just come up with a show title that I can't say on the radio.
They would probably do it.
Lesbians and Asbians.
No, stop it.
Okie dokie.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Hertford, the A10 is closed in both directions between the A414 at Hertford and the A10 at the Hoddesdon roundabout. That's because of some horses that are in the road. In Aylesbury on the A41 Gatehouse Road, there's roadworks at Gatehouse Way, so that might cause some delays later. And in Chalfont St Peter on the A413, there's roadworks at the junction from Mixbourne Avenue, so that is also likely to get busy when it starts to get into the morning rush. On the motorways, the M11 northbound has a lane blocked because the bus is broken down at junction 6 for the M25 to 7 for Harlow. And on the train departure boards, there are no major delays at the moment. Smart the breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. So Adam is Iain, I'm listening out. I'm trying out. Oh, he's trying us out. Oh. I'm trying out the Rabbit Hole live. What do you... what? This must be what I believe is called a typo. What do you take to be so lovely in the morning?
Does he mean lively?
He would have to mean lively. Wouldn't he?
Lonely?
Well, very lonely.
Beds, cards and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Jessica Cooper. Administrators have failed to find a buyer for Penn School in Buckinghamshire after weeks of uncertainty for parents, staff and students. Parents have been trying to raise £1 million to keep the school open for almost 80 deaf and autistic children who attend. A Milton Keynes charity says the scale of the homeless problem in the town is being greatly underestimated. Help Our Homeless MK says there are close to 150 homeless people in the area, although the council says there are just 24 confirmed rough sleepers. NHS workers in England are to be offered a range of health checks in a bid to reduce sickness and its related costs. The Chief Executive of NHS England has said more must be done to support the health of the workforce. And 3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government, including a new secondary school in Luton and religious schools in Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
Luton Town are through to the second round of the Johnston's Paint Trophy after last night's 2-1 home win against Leyton Orient. Danny Green opened the scoring in the first half with a late goal from Stephen O'Donnell, and the Hatters assistant manager Terry Harris was delighted with the performance.
I thought we played ever so well tonight, to be fair. I thought we kept our ball retention was very good tonight. I think we kept the ball a lot better than we have done. Maybe because we pushed Luke Guttridge behind the front man and had the 2 up high as well. We kept the ball a lot better. I didn't give the ball away as much as we did, and was solid at the back as well.
It was a busy transfer deadline day for Watford yesterday. Jeff Doyle has the details.
Young Belgium under-21 international striker Obi Uller signed a 5-year deal from Bruges. Midfielder Adeline Guardiola agreed a 3-year deal from Crystal Palace after 2 loan spells last year. And Colombian international forward Victor Ibarbo signed a season-long loan from Roma. Matej Vidra, Gabriel Angela and Miguel Leun all left on season-long transfers to Reading, QPR and Porto respectively.
Andy Murray is through to the second round of the US Open, beating the Australian Nick Kyrgios 3 sets to 1. Murray goes on to face Frenchman Adrian Manarino in round 2 on Thursday. And in boxing, the WBO World Middleweight title challenge between Hatfield's Billy Joe Saunders and Andy Lee on Saturday the 10th of October has been postponed after Saunders received a cut eye in sparring. Saunders says he's frustrated that the fight has to be delayed again, but there's nothing he can do. BBC 3 Counties News and Sport, more at 7.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
I meant to play. That's Kelly. Great to have you back, by the way.
Thanks, player.
Really, if you missed, okay, let's do this seriously. Well, I'm going to do this now, Kelly, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do it now after I've done it.
What,
Kelly
it's
Betts,
6:30 and I was listening.
That was the reason, yeah, okay. Yeah. Kelly Betts did a show on Bank Holiday Monday at 6 o'clock. You can listen again on the iPlayer. It was
We'd
really
like
good.
to apologise for that.
No,
Is
it was
not
good.
that? Oh, we usually start
I was
apology
in bed,
that way.
I was in bed at 6:11 on Bank Holiday Monday, listening to boring radio, being boring about boring news, probably talking about, I don't know, war or something. And I thought, I was on Twitter, I thought, oh, Kelly Betts' radio show's on, isn't it? I go, listen, I was just like, oh, that good music. Good music.
What about the talking bits?
Yeah. So, if you want to listen to it, the BBC iPlayer function, I don't know what the I stands for.
Information technology.
And you can listen to it, and it's, oh, good music. Oh, it's good music. It's good music.
Thank you for that face, for saying it all really quick when no one is listening.
You're very welcome, Kelly.
You know.
Did you hear her, Justin?
I heard about 2 or 3 minutes, and
wow, that much, huh?
Before we switched off.
Great
that much.
Great mates.
No, I heard about 2 or 3 minutes, and what I heard I thought was very, very good.
Which bit did you hear? Was it a songy bit or a talky bit?
I heard a bit of both. I heard the Jam going underground. I heard Kelly saying, "Here's the Jam," and going underground. And then and then she played this really weird record by the Kinks, which I have to say I absolutely love. So fair play to Kelly Betts. Well done.
Paranoia, The Destroyer by the Kinks. I'm gonna say from I can't remember if it's I'm gonna say 1978, 1982.
If you listened,
think visual.
If you really listened.
Think visual. 1982 then. You didn't say what year the song was from.
Yeah,
you said
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
82 then.
Yeah.
82.
No.
4. Hang on a minute, Justin. I'm just saying numbers to a short girl. 84. You don't remember? You're googling it. Look.
No, I'm looking back through what I did.
I've got something you can look back through. It's that.
No.
Justin.
I was going to say what she should have said was, "This is the Kinks from the Come Dancing era. Let's take you back to the 80s."
Well, Justin.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen. We're here for this. 03. Welcome down the rabbit hole, guys. For the, we're gonna push this for the next few months at least until I.
1981.
Oh, so I was right. So pre-cum dancing.
Because you said 3.
Pre-cum dancing. That was 84, mate. So this is the part of swap that chair because that's the chair I had. Yeah, I know. This is the part of the show where I read a headline and you have to try and tell me what the story is. You have to tell me what's the story, Morning Glory.
Yeah.
Perv cop sting trap.
Oh.
Oh, no, hang on, that's the wrong one. That's about a paedophile police officer. No. OK, here we go. Bowel movement. Bowel movement. Now, I tell you now, there's so much in this story. The main thrust of this story is... Do you know it?
I think I do.
All right, stay there then. Kelly Betts, you come in first.
I was just thinking, please don't go to me first.
Wow, that's weird, because I came to you first.
I know.
Deal with it. Trippy. Bowel movement. Bowel movement. 03459 455 555 if you want to play along.
It's about a guy called Jack Bowell.
Oh, I like the name. Like Jack Bauer.
For 24.
24. I've gone for a 24.
Who...
That's a number 2 and a number 4.
Is starting a protest against outside toilets by weeing in the street.
Wowzers. OK.
Alone.
Let's see.
Night.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, why not?
Kelly, I'm afraid.
Where did they all come from?
Oh,
Just walked in and started booing me.
They
So
are not
weird.
happy with that. Let's go to Justin Daly. Justin?
Yeah, I think I got this one.
Movement.
He knows.
The show's getting way too slick for my liking.
I think this is about a man who...
Wait, is his name Jack Bowell? Because I've kind of just...
Jack Bowell is not involved in this feature today.
OK. This is, I think, about a man who does rude noises so powerful that they can move. They can move from town to town. They are that powerful.
What do you mean they can move from town to town? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Let's just
Like
say
a
right
car?
now that no, hang on. Let's just say right now that I wasn't feeling very well and I'm in Dunstable and that smell could travel to say Luton. Do you get it? Bowel movement.
OK. So the smell moved.
Yes.
OK. That's. Let's see what the audience think. Yeah, booing and hissing.
Is this about the girl who was in the toilet?
Ladies and gentlemen, we could be onto something here. It's a toilet.
It wasn't just a toilet, it was a porta potty.
Yeah.
And as she was doing...
How do you know this? Was this you?
No.
Okay.
I don't do camping, you know this.
Okay.
So I think it was a festival or something anyway. So she decided to go. Those porta potties, they're convenient and everything and, better than a bush. So she goes in there and she's so engrossed in her toileting, she doesn't realise that while she is sitting on it...
She's what?
Sitting on it.
Thank you.
Outside... The toilet's been lifted and moved to another part of the site.
It's like God playing those grabber things in the front of the arcades.
Yeah, so
someone lifted up the portable toilet on a crane.
So she finishes, cleans up, comes out and thinks, "Hang on a minute, this isn't where I started."
Well, the story is. By the way, let's just ask the audience what
That
they,
is great.
Congratulations, Catherine.
That's called reading the papers.
Got it correct. But it says here a woman was quotes. Teleported
Yeah, I know.
across a harbour in a portable loo when it was moved. That's not teleportation. No, that's not teleportation.
No, there has to be some sort of defragmentation
Teleportation.
for teleportation, doesn't there?
The audience are loving you tonight.
You like clapping, don't you?
Dealey?
Yes, boss.
Now listen, I don't watch television anymore. I'll tell you why, mate.
Oh dear.
Bit of feedback.
My worst fear is
The crowd-
being in
sorry.
one of those portaloos.
The crowd, if you're gonna leave, if you could just leave quietly, please. What I meant to play was this one.
It's up my spine.
Right. So, what the flippin' heck is that?
That's called unsightly gatherage.
There's not a lot in the papers. Just saying that. I've only just seen them.
I've seen some bits.
Oh, what have you got for Justin? Because I'm Wellard.
Right. Well, one of them's a bit sensitive, so I.
Well, let's not send Justin out on something sensitive. We know he can't handle that. Can he hear us?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you guys. I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe Idris Elba. Apparently, it's too street to be James Bond.
Oh no! Don't talk about Idris Elba.
I hate
this
Elba.
Fella. You know what he's
I've
like.
gone up. One of the people I follow on Twitter, Matt Hay, who's
I
a
like
writer.
him.
I liked him until he said that Idris Elba's just way too cool. No, he's not. He's a plum. He's a complete and utter plumage.
Right, the fact that this is news, I think, is an indictment on today's society. I think you'll like this one, Justin.
Okay, come on.
This is a lollipop lady who was attacked by a yobbo, right, who had loads of beer. And she's made news by saying she doesn't want compensation for it.
Wow, why?
Well, she just says it's
Would
nobody's
you
fault.
want
It's just
compo?
one of those things.
Here we go. Would you want compo if a yobbo...
Compo yobbos.
Compo yobbo lollipop bow. Can you take that to the streets, Just?
Well, it's a simple yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll take it to the streets, no problem.
Thank you, boss.
Cheers.
I'm playing sticks for you.
Oh, mate, means a lot.
Thank you, brother. Ta-ta.
Bye.
I'm sailing away, set an open course for the virgin sea, 'cause I've got to be free to face a life that's ahead of me. On board, I'm the captain, so climb aboard. We'll search for tomorrow on every shore, and I'll try, oh Lord, I'll try to carry on. I look to the sea, reflections in the waves spark my memory. Some happy, some sad. I think of childhood friends and the dreams we had. We lived happily forever, so the story goes. But somehow we missed out on the pot of gold. But we'll try best that we can to carry on. A gathering of angels appeared above my head.
Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the trav, is it?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Hertford on the A10 that's been closed in both directions between the A414 at Hertford and the A10 at the Hoddesdon roundabout because of a couple of horses that are in the road. On the M11 northbound, the lane's closed between junction 6 for the M25 and 7 for Harlow because the bus has broken down. And on the M25, it's starting to get busy between the junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford anti-clockwise. Also at the Bricketwood North Orbital Road roundabout, the M25 junction 21A is starting to look very busy on the speed sensors. And on the train departure board, there are no major delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, regarding the horse situation, where is that happening? Horses in the road?
It's in Hertford.
Okay, Russ is asking on the line, on Twitter, any idea, did the police know when the situation might become stable?
Didn't know. They've not said. They said it's been a problem since 4 this morning, though. They've been there quite a while.
Okay, so there's no idea at all. I guess Russ is going to be driving through there. No idea at all. No indication of when that situation might become stable.
I'm afraid not.
Okay, Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. Take that gun away from that barrel. Leave those poor fish alone, for goodness sakes. Where are we now? 6:47. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Administrators have failed to find a buyer for Penn School in Buckinghamshire after weeks of uncertainty for parents, staff and students. A Milton Keynes charity says the scale of the homeless problem in the town is being greatly underestimated, with close to 150 people in need of somewhere to live. And 3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government, including a new secondary school in Luton and religious schools in Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood. Let's get the weather!
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Feels like we're galloping into autumn, but it's a bit more of a trot as we've got a chilly start to the day. Some mist and fog patches, a few showers around, some a little on the thundery side, but also sunny spells in between. Of course, because there's showers, not all of us will see those. Temperatures reaching about 17 degrees Celsius. Some clear spells tonight with showers calming down and lows of 8 degrees. Tomorrow, a sunny start to the day. Well, sunny spells at least with some showers around, but cloud builds through the morning, and then we'll have some heavier showers later on. Not quite as heavy as today, though, and a bit more scattered with highs of 15 degrees Celsius, so feeling a little cooler. We have a northerly wind flow for this week, so it will be feeling a bit more chilly. Friday's looking quite wet, some showers on Saturday and dry and fine on Sunday. That's your latest forecast.
On BBC Two.
He contributed so much, shortening the war by 2 years. Good heavens.
Alongside Alan Turing, Gordon Welshman was a World War II code-breaking genius.
If people knew how absolutely he was the kind of spine of the entire Bletchley Park operation, then they would look at him in a completely new way.
So what led to him being written out of history?
It seems to me that some of the things have been kept secret too long.
The Make It Digital season explores Bletchley Park, code-breaking's forgotten genius. Next Monday night at 9 on BBC Two and BBC Two HD.
Have a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day, and I never lost 1 minute of sleeping, worried about the way things might have been. A big wheel to keep on turning, proud Mary keep on rolling, rolling, rolling on the river, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
Gosh, Elvis not going down well there at the Las Vegas crowd.
I think they were hoping for another key change.
Tired of the fatitude. Get rid of the fatitude, Elvis. Hey, by the way, Fatitude is a great festival if anyone wants to go there and eat stuff. So, Prynark.
Yeah.
Prynark. Do you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
I'm changing the word by reading a headline. Horrified Adam Travers. Oh, that's what he says his name is. No evidence to back that up. He looks a bit like... Who's the ginger actor that played a Muslim?
Oh, from Homeland.
Yeah.
Daniel
Day-Lewis. Damon Day-Lewis. Damon O'Donnell.
Posh Damon. Not that posh Damon.
Damon O'Donnell.
Damon.
Who was going to be the next big thing. He was all... Damien Lewis.
Yes.
He was all set to be the biggest actor in the world. And then what happened? He got Cumberbatched and Elbert. He got Elbert out of the way.
I think he's still doing all right.
He's not number one.
He's got very thin lips.
Horrified Adam Travers bought some swimming shorts. Who says swimming shorts? I've never even heard the phrase swimming shorts.
You'd say trunks, wouldn't you?
I would say trunks, or I've started saying swimmers. Where's my swimmers?
Oh.
Yeah, I like my swimmers. I would never say swimming shorts, though. I mean, we'd all agree. Let's just go to our Kelly Betts correspondent. Kelly Betts, what's the latest on Kelly Betts?
I wouldn't say swimming shorts.
Thank you very much indeed. I won't say swimming shorts.
I've never felt the need to say swimming shorts.
From Primark. And discovered, you like this, Kelly? A packet of drugs in the pocket.
Oh.
Adam's girlfriend, Hannah Ewell. I'm suspicious. Why are they so keen to establish their relationship in the paper? Found 9 white pills. I mean, back in the day, I'd have...
You'd have handed those straight into the police?
Via my... yes. Found 9 white pills in an envelope in the buttoned back pocket of the Chinese-made clothes. Damned Chinese back pockets. Oh, she prepared to wash them before a holiday. This story makes no sense whatsoever.
Honestly, I bought them with them in there. Adam, come on.
I blame their kiddie. Look, that little baby. Was he 6 months?
Yeah. Can't look at the camera, can he?
The drugs were with instructions for patients written in Chinese. Adam, 33... yesterday said it was lucky Hannah, 29, spotted the pills because he would have caned them. What? No. Spotted the pills because their 5-month-old son, Oscar, might have got hold of them. This Oscar character.
He'd ordered them.
Mm-mm. He added, I was really shocked. If the baby had got them, that could have been disastrous. It was also lucky we found them before going on holiday. Could have caused problems at the airport. Adam, who bought the £5 trunks from Primark in his hometown of Portsmouth, alerted the police. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, they're boring drugs. I mean, they're just medicinal drugs. All drugs are bad. Their test revealed the pills are a prescription antidepressant. Primark said an investigation had shown the pills were put in the shorts at the time of manufacture after being sent to an unapproved subcontractor in China. It added, as a result, we have terminated our relationship with the supplier. Oh, a source said... Now, this is the story. The last paragraph is the story. Not these chances with their pills and their babies and their holidays and their swimming
shorts.
Swimming. Oh, you can swim, can you? A source said the shorts were supposed to be made in a factory, but it appears they were secretly being made by prisoners in a jail. That's the story! Primark stuff being made by prisoners in a jail. Your swimmers could have been made by a murderer or a rapist. How does that make you feel as a person? Outraged. Disgusted.
No. Keeps them out of their
cells. No!
Keeps them out of their cells, doesn't it?
I don't want prisoners making my swimmers.
You know they make your headphones on planes.
No one uses the headphones on planes. I always take my own. What is it with the netting in swimmers?
I don't know.
What is the netting
I don't require
for?
netting.
Because the netting does... for a while, I thought the netting stopped it making them opaque.
No, it's to stop you jangling around, isn't it?
Well, I don't mind a little jingle jangle.
Well, everyone else does.
And also, you've got to put your hand down there to rearrange because you get caught in the netting, don't you?
I don't know.
It's like, you go...
I don't tend to get caught in netting.
Well, I tend to get caught in netting.
Well, maybe you should be a little tidier.
You all right, Kels?
Yes, thank you. I'm just talking about news stuff to Jessica.
Okay. Maybe do it after the show.
You could close the microphone.
Okay. or you could, focus on this. Don't matter. Anyway, why would you? I just don't like the net. I don't understand what the netting is all about.
Well, like onions.
Yes.
There you go.
It keeps my onions fresh. Now, this is a story that was in the papers over the weekend, and I didn't really read it properly then, and I'm not really going to read it properly now. Oh, there's a man blowing a didgeridoo at a pregnant woman's tummy. This thing about the snoring room.
Yes.
I sleep.
That means a separate room.
Yeah, I sleep in a separate room to my wife, primarily because I can't stand her, but also because I get up at silly o'clock. So she doesn't want to be disturbed by my alarm. I don't want to be disturbed by the kids. So we sleep in separate rooms. And the part of me thinks, oh, it's sad. The part of me thinks, oh, that is flipping brilliant, because then you've got the space to kind of stretch out.
I imagine it's nice.
Have you?
I sleep with a snorer.
Oh, you've got a spare room, haven't you?
Nope.
Can you not?
I filled them with kids, stupidly.
Can the kids not bunk up?
They are bunking up.
Well, then, can you?
We've got a third room, but it's full of toys.
Well, get the... Oh, for crying out loud.
And it's tiny. I'm not sleeping in there. You can go in there.
Or you've got the shed at the back of the garden, the playhouse. That has got room to stretch out in. And with a sleeping bag and a little Calagas heater, you'd be bang on target there.
I'm not going in there. You can go in there.
It'd be nice to be like camping out every night.
Oh, thanks very much. You just saved my marriage.
Yeah, very, very welcome indeed. 03459 455 555. You know it makes sense. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's reports of an accident on the M14 northbound between junction 8A for Oxford and junction 9 for Bicester. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's busy between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for the A41 in Watford. And on the M11, there's a lane blocked northbound between junction 6 for the M25 and 7 for Harlow because a bus has broken down. In Borehamwood, it's looking very slow on the speed sensors between the Holiday Inn and Barnet Lane at the Stirling Corner southbound. And no reports of any major problems on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Any word on the horses situation yet?
They've gone.
So the situation is now stable?
Yes.
Okay. So the situation with the horses is now stable?
Maybe they might have lured them away with some hay and some straw.
Yeah. But just to clarify, because this is important, it's not really, you shouldn't really be making jokes about the travel, Sam. Just to clarify, the situation with the horses is now completely stable?
Yes, I confirm it's stable.
That's great. Sammy, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, really. Okay, separate rooms, a little bit of compo, and an update on Penn School. All of that and much, much less coming up after the news.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Jessica Cooper. The headlines: Penn School closure confirmed, more disruption on the Channel Tunnel, and new free schools in Beds and Herts.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's been confirmed Penn School near High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire won't reopen. Parents were hoping a buyer for the special school could be found after it went into administration in July, just 2 weeks before the end of term. Our reporter Catherine Boyle has been following this story.
Parents tried to raise £1 million to keep the school open for almost 80 deaf and autistic children who attended. Since its closure, they've been struggling to find suitable school places elsewhere. Some have waited in the hope that the school will reopen. The administrators, Deloitte, confirmed yesterday evening that they've not been able to secure a viable offer for the school as a going concern.
A Milton Keynes charity claims the homelessness problem in the town is being greatly underestimated. The council believes there are 24 confirmed rough sleepers, but Help Our Homeless MK says that number's nearer 150. Nicola Hassler reports.
Connor Edwards, who uses a wheelchair, was living in a bin cupboard in Milton Keynes. He says because he's a single man, the council didn't consider him a priority for housing. Janet Paddison from Luton is being housed with her 4-year-old daughter in a hotel in Milton Keynes, but she's due to start school in Luton this week. And 19-year-old Abby Reynolds is 28 weeks pregnant but sofa surfing because the council can't find her a home anywhere near where she lives.
NHS staff are due to be offered exercise classes such as Zumba and yoga and healthy food in a bid to keep them fit and in work. Staff sickness is thought to cost the NHS in England almost £2.5 billion a year. Thousands of passengers trying to use rail services through the Channel Tunnel faced more disruption last night. Eurostar has had to cancel 2 services today. Frankie McCamley reports.
Trains in London, Calais, Brussels and Paris was stopped from around 10 o'clock last night until 2:30 this morning. Eurotunnel says groups of migrants were blocking the tracks, which are used by Eurostar and freight train services. Up to 2,000 passengers were affected as all 6 Eurostar services running at the time had to be stopped.
3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government. They include a new secondary school, St Anne's High School for Girls in Luton, 2 religious schools in Hertfordshire, the Hearts International Christian School in Welwyn Garden City and the Jewish Yevne Primary School in Boreham Wood. In sport, Luton Town's 2-1 home win against Leyton Orient has seen them through to the second round of the Johnson's Paint Trophy. Danny Green opened the scoring in the first half with a late goal from Stephen O'Donnell. The weather, some sunny spells this morning with scattered showers developing later, some heavy showers with risk of thunder, highs of 18 degrees Celsius. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
You're an idiot.
Still trying to find that kid. And boy, I mean, he must be about 18 now, so I am well within my rights to do pretty much anything I want. Karate style. I'm going to karate that kid. I'm going to karate him to the ground.
You can't karate kids.
I can karate kids.
You can't karate kids.
Remember that fella, right? You see all these kids going to their karate lessons at the youth centre and at the church. At the church, flipping heck. And they're all kids. Remember, and I said, all kids that do karate, I could have them in a fight. And then there was this fella got in touch, said, my boy, he's like 9 and he's a black belt.
He was giving it all that.
Yeah, he'll have you. I was like, come on then, sunshine. Where's the 9-year-old with the black belt? I haven't seen him anywhere. I haven't seen him He's not out there, is he? No. Any 9-year-old with a black belt, I would totally destroy. Totally.
I don't know, they've got a low centre of gravity.
Oh, mate.
They probably have you.
Not a chance. For a start, having 2 young boys, I know where their tickle spots are. I know where tickle spots are. I would destroy those suckers.
You can't tickle a 9-year-old ninja.
Always happy to fight any children that want to have a... I'm happy to do that.
What about their dads?
That's come on now. Now that's stirring now. That's unpleasant. Glenn Tilbrook's coming on at 8:30 from Squeeze. Very, very excited. Very excited. Although I've sent Dealey out on the streets to talk about it, so, I mean, I'm worried what he might come back with. If you want to take part in the show, 03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
People know... thank you, Celez. Celez really enjoying the show, because Celez used to hate the show and he's loving it now. Thank you, mate.
He's fulsome with his praise.
We have. It's always good when we turn somebody,
Yeah.
Celez, and I think you've been turned.
Math also loved the Stick song.
Oh, nice
Loved
one, Math.
it.
Thank you, Math. Excellent. Good work. But the rules, the rules to the show are you can call in about anything. We sit here and we talk rubbish. Sorry, but you can call in about anything you want. So that's all groovy, man.
Yeah.
Any texts?
Yeah, we got some texts.
Hey.
Apart from the praisey ones, which
Hey.
are always lovely to receive, but it gets a bit embarrassing to read them all out.
Hey.
Peter in Walmer Green says ha. So I have no idea what that means. And
Peter, is Peter all right? Because
his texts are always a little bit whimsical.
I'm worried that we're, he's off with the fairies, because he used to call in all the time to have a good old whinge, and now he just sends in mysterious texts that make very, very little sense.
Yeah, shorthand for his thoughts. Wendy says, I think the Penn School thing is a sneaky cover-up. I think they just want to sell the land. Grr.
WT flip?
No, that can't be true.
Oh, well.
We'll soon find out what's been going on, though, because we're not going to leave it.
And we're going to speak to someone now. Almost 2 months ago, the families of a group of deaf and autistic children were told it would probably be wise to look for somewhere else for their kids to go to school. Administrators had moved in to sell Penn School, and the hope was that parents could raise enough money to buy it, at least in the short term. Well, that didn't work out. So, with no word at all from the trustees who ran the school, families could only wait for the administrators to work through various possible deals with companies. Well, we got word last night that the negotiations are over, the deal is off, and Penn School is closed for good. Well, Amanda Burgess is one of the mums who's been fighting to save it. Morning, Amanda.
Good morning, Iain.
Sad news.
Yeah, absolutely devastating news. Yeah, really sad.
I guess, we kind of knew this was going to be the outcome, didn't we?
Well, 2 weeks ago...
Or were you still hoping?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago when I was on the show, I was quite emotional because I just felt at that point it was lost. But, then there's always hope until you get the no. And the other thing is, it's just so many of the children still without a school place. You look on Facebook and at the messages, and you look at the emails that I'm getting from some of the parents, desperate now as to what on earth they're going to do. They were really holding out for Penn to reopen in some way, shape or form, and they just do not know what they are going to do. And to be honest, they're not really getting the support either. And actually, I heard yesterday that some ex-members of staff are still helping parents and families to get placements and to fight their local authorities and to get what their children absolutely deserve and should have. And it's disgusting that we're
Could
here.
you do me a favour, Amanda?
Yeah.
Every time we do this story, we get a grumpy old git called Les texts us in, right?
Yeah.
And every time he just says, boring.
Yeah.
Can you try and explain to Les, and it's only a minority, but why this whole thing is so important to you? Explain the situation with your boy and just the difference that Penn School made to your boy's life and to your life.
Well, Penn was a very unique place. It took children to educate the children that had been refused or turned away from other schools because their needs were so severe and so complicated that they could not be met anywhere else. And the powers that be, including the government and the local MPs and the local councils and the local authorities, have allowed this brilliant place to close. And now these children have nowhere to go to school. Every child has the right to go to a school, to an appropriate school to learn. Our children cannot go to Joe Blogg School down the road because they get bullied. You hear of stories all the time of special needs children and young adults and adults being abused, being beaten up, being verbally abused, and that's what happens in society because people like Les, unfortunately, are ignorant and don't want to listen to the facts out there, and I'm sorry if that's harsh, but that's what it is, and it's disgraceful, and I just cannot believe that this school has been allowed to close, yet another special needs provision for children there isn't enough out there anyway, and the government and everybody's allowed this, the trustees have allowed this to close, and that's why Penn was so important, because they were safe, they were cared for, they were loved by those staff, and they were given the best opportunity for a good future, and that's been lost.
Have you spoken to any of the other parents? I was going to say mums and dads, because I'm used to talking with kids. Have you spoken to any of the other mums and dads, Amanda?
Yeah, I have spoken to some, and a lot of email exchanges and a lot of Facebook exchanges have been going on over the last 12 hours. There are parents that are absolutely desperate out there now. They do not know where they're going to go. They have been looking, but there just isn't anywhere for these children to go. I mean, a lot of the children are deaf, and there's a programme on BBC Two this morning talking about the reduction in deaf places out there in the society. Everywhere is being squeezed through austerity measures, and I understand that. We all know that
there are some things you just shouldn't be making cuts on, and I think the schooling of deaf and autistic and disabled and vulnerable children is one of the places where to start making cuts is criminal.
Yeah, and that's what's happening.
Yeah,
and it's just that's where it's desperate, because you say there are 2 deaf boys I know, and the local authority they live in are refusing to send them to an appropriate school because it is further away from where they live and it's going to cost more. So whereas we were all guaranteed there'd be no problem, and for some of us, I'm lucky, for some of us that's happened, but for others, it isn't happening, and local authorities are not being supportive, and they're all going back on what they've said, because it's all going to cost a bit more now to send these children further away from home. And
Amanda,
it's disgusting.
we're going to follow what happens to the building, because it'll be interesting to see who does buy it eventually, if it gets bought, and what happens to it.
Oh, yes, so will we.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be interesting to see what happens to it? And the Deloitte, who have been pretty... I know they've been a little bit difficult with you at times. They're the administrators. They've been really good with us up until now. The chap we've been dealing with, I think, is away on holiday. So we were asking them for a statement yesterday. I don't think they're going to release one until after this show is finished, which is disappointing. On a slightly more positive note, your boy starts school today. Has it sunk in that he's going to a new school today? How's he feeling this morning?
Oh, well, he was up at 5:30 and he was in the car ready to go.
Oh, good for him!
At 6:15. So he's nearly up as early as you, Ian.
Oh, bless him.
So he's gone off. He got in the back of the car and is asleep. So he won't really know until he arrives at school at 9:15 this morning. And then he's got a huge experience and change to go through over the next few weeks, months. And he didn't really want to talk to me about it, and he just puts his hand over his ears and doesn't want to talk. So, to be honest, I don't know. My husband's gone off to work, and we're just kind of going, okay, life carries on. We've got to get on with it. We're actually one of the lucky ones. He's gone off to school today. I know there are at least 15 and possibly up to, like you said, up to 40 children who have not got anywhere to go. I know parents that are having to not go to work. They may lose their jobs, or they won't get paid to cover their children. How is that fair? How is that right?
Amanda, you've got my email address. Would you send me an email next week or so and just let us know how your boy's getting on?
Of course I will.
I wish you the very best of luck, and I'm sure we'll speak again. Thank you so much.
I'm sure we will. Thanks ever
Cheers,
so much.
Amanda. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There we go. Ay. Les, does that answer your question? Still boring, is it? Phone number ends 850. Do you know what, Les? I've played your game and I've indulged you a little bit. You can jog on, fella. I'm not reading out any more of his stupid emails. His texts. I can block on my computer. You're a nasty piece of work, mate. I don't want anything more to do with you. Go on, jog on. Dare you say it's boring? The impact that has on so many lives. Shame on you, Les. Shame on you. We've got the names of the trustees who have refused to speak to us and refused to speak to any of the parents and refused to attend any of the meetings. These people feel they're above talking to parents like Amanda. Paul Ricketts, Hugh Forsyth, Carrie Allen, Dara Gallick, Wendy Moyer, Kerry Lee McLeish and Timothy Layfield. Those are the trustees who have refused to even just to stand in an assembly or a classroom in front of all of the parents and say, do you know what? This is what we did. We tried, we really tried, and we completely muffed it up, and we're really sorry. Or it wasn't our fault, we had a go, and we couldn't make it work, I'm sorry. They've not even had the decency to do that, not even to stand in front of a group of people for an hour and do that. What a disappointing end to a thoroughly disappointing and upsetting story. 7:15, BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's reports of an accident on the M14 northbound between junction 8A for Oxford and 9 for Bicester. On the M1 southbound, it's very busy from junction 12 for Flitwick to 11 for Luton through the roadworks. And the M25 is slow now anti-clockwise from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 16 for the M40. The A1's also busy southbound between Holiday Inn and Barnet Lane at Stirling Corner. And on the North Orbital Road at the London Coney roundabout, it's looking very busy too on the speed sensors. On the train departure boards, there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
$7:15, it's Wednesday the 2nd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. After weeks of uncertainty, it's been confirmed that Penn School near High Wycombe won't be reopening. Milton Keynes charity Help Our Homeless says close to 150 people are in need of housing in the town, but the council is greatly underestimating the scale of the problem. And 3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government, including a new secondary school in Luton and religious schools in Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood. Excellent, more segregation. irrigation for our kids.
We've had a brilliant summer of cricket.
That's Edson Court, it's all over.
But once again, we're also celebrating our unsung sporting heroes.
He has such passion for sport. I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved here.
Who will you nominate? We're looking for someone who inspires people to get involved in sport across beds, hearts and bucks.
He's funny, he's never strict with you, so you don't feel pressured.
To make your nominations, go to bbc.co.uk/unsung-hero and download an entry form. The closing date is Thursday, 22nd of October, with our 2015 Unsung Hero announced at the BBC Sports Personality of the Year in December.
She cares about everyone else more than she does about herself.
Get inspired, get nominating.
That doesn't work.
Go on.
That doesn't work.
Tell me again.
Did you hear what that was for? You probably were busy producing the show.
I was, yeah.
Show. It's an awards.
Heads and sport.
Well, no. It's an awards. All right, well, listen, hang on, right.
Okay, do it again.
Listen to it, and you let me know when you've spotted what's wrong with this.
We've had a brilliant summer of cricket.
That's Edson Court, it's all over.
That's not it.
Once again, we're also celebrating our unsung sporting heroes.
He has such passion for sport. I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved here.
Are they not being sung there?
We're looking for someone who inspires people to get involved in sport across beds, hearts and bucks.
He's funny, he's never strict with you, so you don't feel pressured.
To make your nominations, go to bbc.co.uk/unsung-hero.
But if they're unsung, then we're singing them, so they'll be sung.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a song worth living. Why don't you sing it? Sorry?
They're unsung currently.
Yeah, so then they'll be sung. So
I
then
heard
they're
them being
heroes.
sung there. I
So
heard
then-
them being sung.
So
'Cause
you're
one guy's funny.
voting for someone to become a hero?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that fair? We don't
Yeah.
vote for our heroes. Our heroes are just born. Or made, I don't know. With great power comes great responsibility.
Sometimes
I don't know if they're able to handle it. That's why they're unsung.
Sometimes they have it thrust upon them.
Huh?
Oh, I know.
And you're thinking about something different.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the Christmas party, and I've apologised for so much.
Did you apologise to everybody though?
I
Because
sent an email.
I'm not going to one of those Christmas parties again.
I'm not, for many reasons.
I'm there with bells on.
I know,
That's
and that was
why.
so beautiful. I wish you'd put clothes on instead, but
I
never
know.
mind.
Oh, look, at least we
Tinkle,
had it coming.
tinkle, 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 little star. Well, yeah, oh, Catherine. Dearie me.
Anyway,
so those heroes are going to be sung. They're going to be sung heroes by the
good.
end of that. Well, no, I don't approve of that.
what about if they were singing you?
Eh?
If they were singing you?
Singing you? What does that mean?
Well, those heroes are getting sung. What about if they sung
I've got awards. I've got $1 in the bank. I need to get that changed, actually. I'm doing all right.
Okay, well, good for you.
I'm doing all right. Been on telly.
When?
Long time ago. I've got them on VHS tapes if you want to borrow them.
I did Look East once.
I was on
twice.
Trisha.
What were you on Trisha for?
I asked a question.
What did you work at? Really? Wow. Stop the show. Hang on a second. You're on now. Trisha, when she was on ITV or Channel 5?
ITV.
Proper Trisha.
Proper Trisha.
What I like to call
Trisha.
Trisha Classic.
Mm.
Okay, what was the theme?
Can't remember.
It
was some dad who his daughter was like, "Hey, you're my dad. Where have you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I've got so many kids."
No, because I can't be bobothered.
We know where he's been.
And who did you ask the question to?
The dad.
This is going to be awesome. Get Kath. Right, let's role play. Kath, you be Trisha.
40.
Okay.
You be Trisha, and let's reenact the scene. Away you go.
So, Wayne, you spent all this time being a man but not being a father. Has anyone got any questions for Wayne?
Yes, I
Small
do.
person on the front row.
Hello. Wayne, what about the rest of your kids?
Wayne got served.
What was Wayne's answer? I've got too many. I've got so many of
Yeah,
them.
he was
There's so
like,
many of them.
Dunno.
Wow. I was in the audience for Maury Povich.
I love Maury Povich. He once did a whole programme called Midgets.
Yeah, it's one of my lowest points. No, not that. That's good. It was one of my lowest points, and it pops up on a. I'm not going to even say what channel. It pops up on a channel from time to time. People go, "I saw you in the audience of Maury Povich." I booed 14-year-old crack addicts. Now.
I mean,
Now.
14.
Now. They were disrespectful to their parents.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're 14 and a crack addict.
We were encouraged to boo them.
Oh.
I booed them so much, though, security said, "Sir, would you calm down, please?"
Oh.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Where were they from?
Calm down.
I was also in the audience for
They were from Liverpool, USA.
Kilroy.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, the silver fox. Did you make love to him?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Did he squat down next to you?
He did.
Did he squat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was in the audience for Family Fortunes, but we got moved along because we looked too cool.
Okay. Have you ever been in the audience? I know it's an old classic, but do you know what? I don't mind prostituting myself out from time to time. Ever been in the audience for something? 03459 455.
Do you mean on telly?
555.
Yeah.
Or
No, just no.
anything?
I think we expand it.
So really what you're asking is, what have you seen? Call me now.
But you had to see it from an audience point of view, not from backstage. That's tomorrow's phone in.
What have you done backstage?
Oh, dear.
Hey. I mean, that is gold. Steady. What have you been in the audience for? It's good. I like it. It's open-ended.
It's massive.
It is massive.
Gaping phone in.
Thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties
Here we
Radio.
go. A homeless charity says that Milton Keynes Council is greatly underestimating the scale of the problem there. The council says there are 24 confirmed rough sleepers, but Help Our Homeless MK says it's nearer 150. Well, Connor Edwards was until recently living in a bin cupboard. He was mugged twice and says because he's a single man, the council didn't consider him a priority for housing. He joins me now. Morning, Oh, no, hang on a second. Let me just see. It's Connor's... Oh, Connor's dropped off, I think. Is that right? Yes, Connor's dropped off. We'll try and get Connor back. In the meantime, let's go to Hannah O'Neill, the Cabinet Member for Housing at Milton Keynes Council. Morning, Hannah.
Morning.
How many homeless people are there?
Well, in terms of street homeless, I haven't got those figures because I wasn't expecting to be asked about street homeless, to be honest. I thought we were talking about bed and breakfasts, which I cover within my portfolio.
Okay, I just asked how many homeless there are. I've not been specific. You're the housing Cabinet Member for Housing, are you?
Yeah, I absolutely am. So street homeless, unfortunately, falls under community safety. So I know what they're doing within the community safety team is a lot of work around street homeless to try and support people who are street homeless. But unfortunately, that isn't within my portfolio. But in terms of bed and breakfast, at the moment, our bed and breakfast numbers have jumped quite significantly. We're up to 148 families in bed and breakfast.
Right. What can you do about it?
It's a really good question, and obviously I've been on your programme before to talk about it because it's a real issue, and it's a real issue nationally.
And it's getting worse in Milton Keynes, though, isn't it?
It's getting worse in Milton Keynes. It's getting worse nationally.
Well, forget nationally. We're talking about Milton Keynes. What are you going to do about it?
Okay, so just a couple of things that we've got coming online quite soon. We started to work with, or we will be working with St Mungo's Broadway, the homeless charity from London, who are going to provide 70 properties in Milton Keynes. So there'll be flats or houses in Milton Keynes.
Didn't the Mungo's just close down recently?
That was a different. It was a hostel for young people. So this is more focused on homeless families.
Okay, but why did... Hang on a second. Why are we differentiating between homeless young people and homeless families? If a Mungo's just closed down and now you're working with Mungo's, that's a bit confusing.
My understanding is that was a contract that St Mungo's... they no longer needed that property. They were able to deliver that contract without that property.
That's not what they told us.
Okay. My understanding is that's my understanding is that they didn't need that property.
Right. But then what happened to those homeless kids? I'm confused. I'm really confused. Hang on. So one place closed down, but now you're working with Mungo's, and also you did come on before, and you had all these great plans of things you were going to do, and it's got worse. So it's going drastically wrong, isn't it?
Well, one of the suggestions that we made earlier this year was that we were going to use our properties differently, and obviously that was stopped by opposition colleagues who decided they didn't want us to be doing that anymore, which is a real shame because actually we wouldn't have had any people in bed and breakfast at the moment if we'd been able to use that system. So we're looking at other ways. So the St Mungo's properties, 70 properties will be coming online quite soon. We've got 12 more rooms which we're going to be having from next week in Milton Keynes to use locally. What's brilliant about the St Mungo's is that it actually supports families for 6 months. So it helps them with kind of any employment issues, any debt issues. It helps them with a number of issues.
Right, so that's one project.
Yep. So we're also looking at other things. I mean, one of the things that we're really looking to work on is working with private landlords.
How's that going?
We need private landlords to come forward. The reason I meant
the last time how long ago was it you're on, Hannah?
think it was last year when I just taken over as cabinet.
Oh yeah, it was. You just started. When did you start the job? Was it October last year?
It was June last year.
June last year. Blimey. So over a year, you've been in the job over a year.
Yeah.
And the situation's got significantly worse.
Yeah.
How long do we give you before we start saying that you're not up to the job?
Well, I think we need to look at this in a holistic way, because this isn't something Milton Keynes Council are doing. We're not going out making people homeless. What we're seeing an increase in people who are coming through because their private landlord has evicted them. Friends and family can't have them anymore. People can't afford to live in Milton Keynes because our average rents are £175 more than the national average. We're in the top 5 most expensive places to live outside of London.
When you came on in June last year, weren't you asking for private landlords then to come forward and help?
Yeah, and we still are.
Right. Okay. How many came forward then?
I don't think any. I don't think any came forward.
Right.
Then.
So over a year after you first asked for private landlords to come forward, none came forward.
And I think
and you're still asking for private. Well, it's a real issue that policy obviously doesn't work.
Well, we've changed our offer to them, and I think the other thing is that the government has frozen local housing allowance at £656 for an average 2-bed, and that's already almost £200 less than the average 2-bed rent in Milton Keynes.
But I did that. Hannah, listen, we know the government will make cuts and all this stuff, but you came on June the 17th of last year, I've just been told, and you were asking for private landlords. Was it this year? Okay. And you asked for private landlords to come forward to give you properties. No one came forward. That policy.
Nobody came forward.
Well, you just did.
It wasn't that.
How many properties have you got off the back of that campaign?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head. I don't know.
Is it less than 10?
Quite possibly, yes.
Is it less than 5?
I don't think. No, I would imagine it's less than 10.
Okay, so let's say 5. You got 5 properties, so that don't work. So what else are you going to do?
Well, I've said we're doing this among us. Obviously, we're building houses, but building houses takes time. We are looking at how we can work with partners to build more houses, you work with housing associations to kind of get more properties. This has to be, a Milton Keynes-wide. It's not just about Milton Keynes Council. We held a summit last month to try and get people to come together, and we had over 50 people from the housing world come and to the summit to talk about how we can try and resolve.
How many houses did that provide, that summit? How many bedrooms did that provide, that summit? Or was it just people got together and had a nice cup of tea and said, yeah, we should really do something about this. See you next year.
I think that's a bit cynical. I think people really want to help.
Okay, it's a fair question. How many houses did that summit provide?
Well, I think out of that summit we started to have conversations about St Mungo's Broadway. And we started to have those really in-depth conversations with housing associations, and landlords came, and landlords gave us their advice as what would help us to encourage more landlords. So we've changed our offer. We're now offering 12 months guaranteed rent. We're offering for the local housing allowance to pay straight to landlords. We're constantly having those conversations about how we can encourage landlords to come through. But even if we get a number,
but you've had 5 landlords come through.
I think we've changed the offer significantly. Certainly, the housing crisis has deepened incredibly in the last 9 months. It's almost doubled in the last 9 months.
Hey, it's great. Listen, you can tell that to me because I've got a really nice house. I've even got a spare bedroom. Why don't you tell that to the people that are in bed and breakfast, the people that have got nowhere to live, the people that have got a family living in someone's front room? It's all right saying to them, well, the government has said this and house, but you're responsible for it in Milton Keynes.
Well, I am responsible, but I can only do a certain amount in terms of what the powers I've got, which government give us. One of the things I am doing is I'm going to hopefully write to the housing minister and ask him to come down and explain his recent changes to tell us, explain them to people in bed and breakfast, because this is a national problem.
Yeah, Hannah, Yeah, I know, but if you're a mum and you got 2 kids and you're living in someone's spare room, or you're living in a B&B, this don't wash, does it? It just doesn't wash. There's no one. They're looking to you for help and homes, and you're saying, "Well, there's only so much I can do, and it's the government's fault, and there's not really any more I can do."
We're doing a number of things to try and resolve the issue. What we need landlords to tell us why they're making people homeless. Because
I can tell you why. Because they want more money. That's why. Next, I've told you that. So what's the next thing you need to know? Let's see if we can work this one out.
We need to understand from them, how much money they want more.
They want to make as much as the market. They want to make as much as the market will allow them because they're private enterprises.
Okay, so we need to understand then what can we offer them?
More money.
To get them to keep our tenants. Well,
more money.
Maybe we need to consider that, and that's a conversation that we're having at the moment. How that would work and what that would look like, we're not sure. Is it that we need to give sort of some more money up front? Do we need to look at a difference between rent and local housing allowance? We need to look at all of these things, and we're doing it. And I think, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're doing enough and that we've got the housing crisis sorted, because we haven't.
And no, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. You haven't got it sorted. It's slipping through your fingers.
But it's not something we can do on our own, individually, locally.
You've had over a year, Hannah.
And it has to be considered in a national perspective. And I think we need to understand that nationally, this Conservative government are making things 100 times worse for people
now, but you have to work with. It may.
True. And,
but Hannah,
you can blame me all you like.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that you've. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that you've been in the job for over a year. The situation is getting worse, and it's all well and good and saying.
Ian, in that year, let me tell you, in that year we have set aside the money. We've started building 200 council houses.
When will those houses be ready?
They'll be ready by the beginning of they will have all been started by 2017.
Well, hang on a minute. So, excuse me, they'll be started by 2017?
Yeah, that was
When will they be ready for families to live in?
Well, we've got 20 which.
When will they be ready for families to live in?
We've got 20 that are already about to be ready. We've got I think there's 13 that are current. Well, we've just opened.
The 200 houses you just mentioned that will be started in 2017. When will they be ready for people to move in?
However long it takes to build a house from 2017.
Well, you're the housing minister. I thought you might know.
I'm not the housing minister. I'm a cabinet member.
The cabinet member.
Not the housing minister.
All right, let's not get cute. I would have thought you would have known how long it would take to build a house that you're buying.
It takes about a year from.
So they'll be ready. They'll be ready in 2018.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's 2015, 2016. So that's three winters.
Yep, but nobody had started that before. Nobody had considered to build houses before. So we've started building houses. We are working with partners to provide.
And they're all going to be council houses, are they?
But all council houses.
All council houses that people have to go through three winters to get. So that's 200. Okay.
We have started the St Margaret's project to bring on 70 more rooms in Milton Keynes. We have got 12 more rooms coming online with UK Rooms next week. We have changed our offer significantly to the private landlord sector, which we've done in the last year. So in the last year, we've done a number of things. And we tried to change our allocations policy, which would mean we wouldn't have been using bed and breakfast, but that was stopped. So we tried to make that change. We tried to do something differently. It was stopped by opposition colleagues. So in that last year, we've done a substantial amount to deal with the housing crisis, and none of that had been done before. If previous administrations had decided to do something about the housing crisis, which was inevitably getting worse,
I'm not going to let you play. I don't let any side play. It's the other side's fault. How many homeless people have you spoken to?
I speak to a number of homeless people. I represent an incredibly deprived ward, so I have a lot of people come through my door to talk to me about homeless people. So I talk to a lot.
Have you spoken?
It keeps me up. And do you know what? It keeps me up at night, and I lay awake at night thinking, how can I help these people? Because it's not a good enough situation. And
in your bedroom, yeah. In your bedroom.
Yeah.
In your home.
Yeah, and
then you go and have breakfast.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to Connor Edwards?
I haven't spoken to Connor Edwards, unfortunately. No, I know there was lots of issues around him last week, but I haven't had a chance to speak to him yet, unfortunately.
Well, you can say hello to Connor Edwards now. Morning, Connor.
Good morning.
How you doing, mate?
Morning,
you all right?
Connor.
I'm all right this morning. Yeah. Yeah, very good.
Connor, let's have a little chat. You were living in a bin cupboard until quite recently. How on earth did you end up in that situation?
Well, about 18 months ago, I was evicted from a property that I was living in. It was all due to the bedroom tax when it came in. A large amount of rent arrears was put on to my property. I had my children at the time. I couldn't afford to pay. It was either feed my kids or pay the bedroom tax back. I chose to feed the kids, and I got evicted. And it wasn't till after I was evicted that I was told that there was a grant that I could have claimed that would have stopped the eviction in the tracks.
And you end up in a bin cupboard. This is like one of those kind of lockups near a block of flats, is it, with the big bins in?
No, it's actually a service cupboard, and it's in central Milton Keynes, directly opposite the shops. It was the safest place that I could find that was covered.
What was going through your head the first time you thought, I'm going to end up sleeping in there tonight?
Panic. It was absolute panic, because prior to that, I'd actually been mugged. It was my second night out, and I'd actually been mugged, and I had all of my stuff taken off of me. I'd been up to the council, Milton Keynes, that day, with the police report, everything, and I sat in the council offices, crying my eyes out, and all the council said to me was, here's a sheet, we can help you with private housing, private landlords. They handed me an A4 sheet of paper, and on that A4 sheet of paper was lists of letting agencies. I rung them, and all of them said that they don't rent to anyone on benefits. And that was it. And then they said, yeah, that's it, that's all we can help you with.
And just to add a little bit more colour to what is already quite a spicy, colourful story, you're in a wheelchair as well, aren't you?
Yeah, recently. Yeah, I use a wheelchair as well, because I have diabetic neuropathy.
And you weren't a priority for the council?
No, because I'm self-caring from the waist up, do you know what I mean? I'm not classed as disabled enough.
Disabled enough? I mean, that's a phrase.
Yeah, I'm not disabled enough. And because I don't have any learning difficulties, having any serious mental issues, I don't fall under that department as being mental enough. I just don't fall into any of the specific departments that could help me. And that was it. And I was just told, go back to housing options. Back there I went, and they said, look, there's nothing we can do. We've told you that we feel, we've looked into your case, we feel that you haven't got a priority for housing, for us to help you, for the council to help you, and you're going to have to look into the private sector. And I had been, and just not been able to find anything, because as a single man, I'm only allowed to look for specific properties, and those properties are rare to really get hold of.
Your story was in the Milton Keynes Citizen, and because of that, you've got somewhere now, have you?
I have, yeah, because of the Milton Keynes Citizen, somebody came forward and they had a bed set that they was able to rent, and I'm actually talking to you now from a bed set, and it's amazing.
Hey, that first night you got into your room and you sank down in your bed. That must have been pretty special.
It was amazing. It was amazing that not have to worry about who was walking past outside, where my stuff was, being able to just go and have a wash when I wanted, have something to eat when I wanted, not have to continuously keep on the move, trying to move from place to place because you moved from wherever you were sitting. It was an amazing feeling.
Hannah?
Yep.
Listen, I know you've got a really tough job, and I really appreciate you coming on and answering the questions. And I get a lot more what you're saying than perhaps you think I do. But it's people like Connor, and it's other families that we've spoken to. They look up to you, and it's all right to say, well, it's the government or it's the previous administration, but you're the person doing the job now. And if you are homeless, whether it's street homeless or sofa surfing, a phrase I absolutely hate. You're kipping in someone, you got you and your kids in someone's spare room, you're their beacon of hope. And, to say, well, we had a seminar and we've got some houses that will be ready sort of early 2018. To those people who are desperate, well, it doesn't sound like anything useful, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I can completely relate to that. And I completely understand that. And that's why we're doing as much as we can. And that is why officers are working into the night to try and place people. Over the weekend, I was ringing around trying to get rooms for people. We're trying to do everything we can to house people in the midst of a housing crisis. And I'm not saying that we're getting it right, because obviously it's getting worse. So we need to do more. but I don't want people to think that we're sitting back and doing nothing, because we are, but it's just that we're doing it in the midst of a housing crisis. So everything we do isn't good enough. If we'd done everything we've done last year, the housing crisis, we wouldn't have had anyone in bed and breakfast. We wouldn't have had them. But because the housing crisis is so much deeper than what it is, than what it was, what we're doing seems like small fry. But actually, if you look at it in the context of where we've been, it would have been providing homes for people. So we need to do more. So we've got those things coming online. So we probably need another 50 or 60 rooms, and we're looking at how we can get that. And there are lots of ideas coming through, and we've got the review group are coming back to us next week, who are looking at bed and breakfast and homelessness. They'll come back to us next week with ideas and things that we can do. And it's a constant battle. It's a constant battle to house people, because I know how important it is for people to have a roof over their heads. I know how important it is. So I do as much as I can.
And I really appreciate you staying on the line and taking my questioning. And I can tell that you are very passionate about your job, Hannah. And it's a tough one. I don't know what you do. I'm just a bloke that talks on the radio. I'm glad it's not my job. I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that some of these plans come off.
Thank you, so do I.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. It's Hannah O'Neill, the Cabinet Member for Housing at Milton Keynes. Connor, so everything is... you're on the upward swing again, Connor.
Well, I wouldn't say upward swing. I'm just happy to be, with a roof over my head. Just small things. That's all I wanted, was just a roof over my head.
Best of luck, mate. Thanks for getting in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Very more than welcome to. You can text 81333, start your text 3CR.
I felt for both of those people.
I felt for both of them. And fair play to Hannah, because I gave her a tough grilling. A couple of people on Twitter having a go at me. Well, that's your prerogative. I think it was warranted. But you can tell that she is very passionate about her job. She's not just there to, because it's. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's there because it's a step up the promotional ladder. But if she is phoning up places at night time to try and find houses, you can't knock that dedication. And I appreciate her putting up with the barrage of questions in such a calm fashion. Not a lot of other people would have done.
Do you know what else? She sounded like a real person.
Yeah, didn't she just? It was June this year that we spoke to her. Oh, crap, right. Thank you, Hannah. 03459 455 555 81333.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Kelly. It's just my job. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. It's just what I do.
Fair enough. That red light is really small.
So is she. It's ginormous to her. Sorry?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. 45 minutes then, Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze. How exciting.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M14 northbound, there's been an accident between junction 8A for Oxford and 9 for Bicester, which is causing some delays, but it is on the hard shoulder now. On the M1 southbound, it's very slow around junction 12 for Flitwick, and on the M25, a lane's closed clockwise approaching the QE2 bridge, which is causing delays southbound from Romford. On the North Orbiter Road in Bricketwood on the M25 junction 21A roundabout, it's looking very busy there at the moment. And in Hemel Hempstead on Breakspear Way, it's also looking very slow between Leverstock Green and the M1. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. We'll get proper news by a professional in 15 minutes. But before that, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. After weeks of uncertainty, it's been confirmed Penn School near High Wycombe won't be reopening. Milton Keynes charity Help Our Homeless says close to 150 people are in need of housing in the town, but the council is greatly underestimating the scale of the problem. And 3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government, including a new secondary school in Luton and religious schools in Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood. Let's get the weather!
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. As we take on a northerly airflow this week, things are cooling down a little, so a chilly start with some mist and fog patches. A few showers around today, and some of those will be a bit thundery, but not necessarily for everyone, with sunny spells in between and temperatures reaching 17 degrees Celsius. Clear spells through the night, with the showers gradually calming down with lows of 8 degrees, and then a fairly sunny start to the day tomorrow with some showers, but cloud builds through the morning, and then we've got some heavier showers later on, not as heavy as today's though, and they should be slightly more scattered, so it will be at least a slightly drier day. Temperatures reaching 15 degrees Celsius. On Friday it's looking rather wet with some showers on Saturday, but dry and fine on Sunday, and then warming up a little again as we take on a southerly airflow next week. That's your latest forecast.
Every weekday morning.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning. Do you think it's right to tell 1 million disabled people they should get off benefits and find a job?
Have your say on today's big phone-in.
People who are going to be a nuisance are going to be a nuisance regardless of whether there are things to do.
Is it true that people over the age of 65 drink far too much booze?
The JVS show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
Waited and the receipt came out, but the cash didn't. It's become a problem of late because obviously the trees got bigger as we got here.
We couldn't shut the French windows. It would appear that they'd buckled.
I had a phone call from my daughter saying if we don't get off the train, they're going to hand us over to the British Transport Police.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Some choice texts there.
Music's annoying, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Some choice texts there.
Yes.
Can I read my favourite one?
Go on.
People try to help and all you do is ridicule them. You are an arse and a bully.
Wow.
Ouch! Meow! Meow!
Who said that?
No, an anonymous.
Gosh, that was brave.
Trev says,
and not bullying at all.
What does Iain expect Hannah to do? Magic up spare houses from thin air? Sounds like she's doing a tough job in difficult circumstances. And here's the point that is ridiculous. I'd love to hear if Iain would be prepared to take in a homeless family and use his own spare bedroom to help people in need. I can't do that. I use it as an office. I doubt it. It's not an easy issue to solve. Please stop simplifying it. Says Trev, the man who suggested we take in homeless people into our spare rooms. No. Here's how you solve it, Trev. I can tell you how to solve the housing crisis. I don't know if you guys want to know.
Who else?
You build more houses and you have enough social housing and you make sure that private landlords, there is a rent cap. I mean, is it... You build more houses and you put a rent cap on private landlords. I mean... I don't know. Is that... I mean, Trev? Really?
I wonder if Trev texted before he heard the entire interview, because that would be interesting to know. Love the show, guys. Listen every day, says...
Loser.
V in Hertford.
Loser.
I'm a bricklayer. I work on housing estates every day, and it doesn't take 12 months to build one house.
Okay, I mean, I've got no idea.
When is our government going to start looking after our people and not taking pay rises and spending 7 million on fencing in France?
Can I just say, okay, and again, sixth form politics, but do you know what? There's something to sixth form politics. Who's the smarmy plastic man? Not Andy Burnham, the one on the other team.
Which one?
The one... not Gove. The money man.
Oh, the money man, the Chancellor, Osborne.
Osborne, right.
I mean,
It's
I
true.
recognised him from your description.
And the mime.
No, the mime more than the other.
Okay. He's just said we're going to spend... Yesterday, we're going to spend £500 million on a submarine base in Scotland. £500 million on a submarine base in Scotland, primarily to house Trident, something that the MPs haven't even voted on yet. Okay, £500 million to house submarines. I don't know if there's £500 million that could be spent on housing things. Sixth form politics. Why don't we spend it on housing? I don't know, people. I mean, really? Is it that? It's for housing submarines. What about the people? What about the people? I don't know.
Do you want another text? One more?
Yes, have one more.
From
Go on.
Andrew. Re the housing crisis. Why doesn't the government create prefabs similar to the ones put up after the war? With modern building materials, surely people with nothing would love one. I certainly would. I've been living on the canal for 14 years and I'm over 60 now. It's becoming more difficult.
Must be damp.
Yeah.
Peter's... we'll go to the lottery story in a minute. But Peter's in Walmer Green. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Are you dry?
Yes.
Because you were wet earlier.
Well...
You were wet and indeed naked.
I know. Anyway.
He was in the shower, ladies. A little image for you, ladies. And indeed, Peter, some of the gentlemen. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few male admirers. I've always been flattered whenever a homosexual has chatted me up. It's been a few years. I used to get it quite a lot, the chatting up.
Well, I don't bother with that too much these days. Anyway, I was going to say to you, it's a very good probing questions you put. It's more unusual that a presenter puts probing questions to people, and you was really sympathetic to how she had to deal with these.
I've been called a bully. Another anonymous is calling me a bully. I'm a disgrace.
You'll always get some that think things have gone too far. But
in fact, loads of it. Hey, everyone's having a go. You're far too harsh on Hannah. Some of your comments were below the belt, says Imran. Lee, get yourself a real job instead of criticising those that are doing work for the homeless.
Well, I thought you have to be probing, really, because lots of these programmes, they wash over things that really need a bit more depth. And when you're looking at places now where there's a housing problem, we must ask, the first question that must be asked, how many people from London and other places have you accepted into your area?
Yep.
Because that causes a problem. It caused a problem for Luton. They were already in desperate plight with bed and breakfast. They accepted families in for bed and breakfast from other areas, which creates a bigger problem. So all in all, really, we're saying there's a desperate housing problem.
£500 million on something to home submarines. What about £500 million? How cool would Osborne look, right? If he came out and said, yeah, do you know what? You know the submarine thing? What was that? Stupid. No, that £500 million I'm going to spend on building new houses.
But I don't think you need to miss out on one and have the other.
Oh.
You could do both.
Hey, Peter, I'm noticing... Yes? Never mind the furthermore. The plea is self-defence, yes?
Well, when you're talking about prefabs...
Yes.
I was young when prefabs went up and everything else.
I thought you lived in caves when you were a kid.
They lasted the 60, 70 years instead of the 20 to 30
Peter, I've got to move on because we've got a guest coming on who I think is going to be interesting.
Okay.
But I'm noticing a real change in your attitudes. There's more. How can I put this? There's more swag about you. There's more vibe about you. What's changed?
No different. If you've been a Formula 2 industry, boy, you have to take all sorts of things in your stride.
Well, I believe you took Justin Dealey in your stride, didn't you?
Well, I thought we got on comfortably well.
You went out on the streets with Dealey.
Yeah, well, until I saw his World War I trench coat.
That put you in a state of panic, did it? Reminded you of the bad old days? You dived into a trench. Peter, nice to talk to you, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, Aylesbury Vale District Council says it will become the first council in the country to launch a community online lottery if plans are approved next week. With a jackpot of up to £20,000, the money raised would be shared amongst local groups. Councillor Janet Blake is Cabinet Member for Business Transformation at the council. How does this work, Janet?
Morning.
Morning.
It's a similar process to the National Lottery in that it's a selection of 6 numbers, but the cost is £1 as opposed to the £2 promoted by the National Lottery, and it's just a once-a-week draw. So people will sign up online, either with a payment card or through direct debit.
OK. And how have you? This is still being discussed, isn't it? This is being kind of decided on next week. Is that right?
Yeah. The format is sorted, and that's the one that I will propose to council. But yeah.
Do you know? Is there an interest in this from? Is there a willing market out there? We know that we spoke to one charity earlier on that's kind of thinking this might be a good way of increasing their revenue. Do you know if there are people out there that would want to buy this lottery ticket?
I'm pretty sure there are, because lots of voluntary and community groups have their own set of supporters, and we hope with our umbrella lottery, which is what it is, that it will engender even more support for local groups. So I see it as a huge opportunity for the voluntary sector to garner more support for their very worthwhile causes.
And how would the charities apply to be part of this scheme?
Yeah, they'll need to sign up with AVDC because we will be the overall operator. And all being well, if council approves it, we'll have a big launch event at the end of this month, possibly beginning of October. We will invite any community voluntary group that's interested to come along, and we'll explain what they need to do. There's a simple set of criteria that they have to fulfil, be a properly constituted group. But that being the case, then they can sign up, and then people will be able to choose who gets the...
I see. So how do they choose? Does it depend on when they register online? Do they tick a little box saying, "I want to help the kids"?
Yeah, they'll be able to. Of the groups that have joined up with us, so
that's an interesting
really
way of doing it. Now this £20,000, Janet.
Yeah.
Can you swing it? I mean, I'm happy. I would be more than happy to split it 60-40 in my favour. Can you?
Even for you, my friend, I couldn't do that. But I'll tell you what would happen is if several people all had, as it happens that the odds would be far against it, but if several people all had the winning numbers that week, every single one of them would get 20k.
Hey, flipping it. That don't sound bad, does it?
Because it's not split. So, the chances of winning overall are 1 in 50, and prizes start at just 2 numbers. So it really offers a very good alternative.
What do I get for 2 numbers?
For 2 numbers, you can have 3 free goes.
Hey, that's. Do you know what? I'll have some of that. Janet, listen, it's a really interesting idea, and it'll be interesting to see what the council says next week. Maybe we'll speak again and see which way it goes.
Yeah, great stuff.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Councillor Janet Blake. Isn't it nice to hear someone enthusiastic about their job? Wasn't she delightful? We'll speak to her next week and find out if that gets the thumbs up or not. I'll be up. My favourite thing, you're not allowed to do it now, Kath. My nan and my mum, actually, there used to be a little hut in the Queensmere shopping centre in Slough that would sell the scratch cards. Yeah. And my mum would say, when I was like 8, Here's a 50p or whatever it was. Here's 50p. Go and get us a couple of scratch cards. And I go and buy the scratch. Can't sell them to kids now. This political madness gone wrong. And I'd get it, and you go back, and if you got, we got another free card. Go back and get the next. I used to love that.
We have relations who always put a scratch card in a Christmas card. That's our present.
Northern, isn't it?
No, actually.
Hey,
no.
The Southerners.
Yeah.
The Northerners have rubbed off on them.
They'll send it.
That's the rumour going around.
They'll send me a £5 in a card still, like in the olden days.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's slow on the A1M southbound between junction 9 for Letchworth and 7 for Stevenage. Also, the M25 anti-clockwise is busy between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. And the A40 is busy heading into London between the Swakeleys roundabout from the Hanger Lane gyratory. Also in Beaconsfield on Amersham Road, it's looking very busy at the moment between Longbottom Lane and the A40. And in Hardyston on the A414 westbound, there are queues at Pepper Hill approaching the Amwell roundabout. On the train departure boards, there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
And just to clarify, I'm really sorry. I've been such a busy morning. The situation with the horses, that is all stable now, yeah?
Yeah, like about an hour ago.
Okay, so it's all completely stable.
Well, it's busy on that road, as I just said.
Yeah, okay.
But not because of the horses.
Do you want a hug, Sammy? Yeah? See you in a minute.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Jessica Cooper. The headlines. Penn School to remain closed. MK homeless problem underestimated. And more free schools announced in the Three Counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Administrators have failed to find a buyer for Penn School in Buckinghamshire after weeks of uncertainty for parents, staff and students. The special school for almost 80 deaf and autistic children went into administration in July, just 2 weeks before the end of term. Parent Amanda Burgess told Iain Lee they still had hope it would reopen.
There's just so many of the children still without a school place. and you look on Facebook and at the messages, and you look at the emails that I'm getting from some of the parents, desperate now as to what on earth they're going to do. They were really holding out for Penn to reopen in some way, shape or form.
Milton Keynes Council says it's doing all it can to tackle homelessness in the town after claims from a local charity that they were underestimating the scale of the problem. Help Our Homeless MK says close to 150 people are in need of somewhere to live. Hannah O'Neill is the Cabinet Member for Housing at Milton Keynes Council.
Officers are working into the night to try and place people. Over the weekend, I was ringing around trying to get rooms for people. We're trying to do everything we can to house people in the midst of a housing crisis.
Thousands of passengers trying to use services through the Channel faced disruption again last night as groups of migrants blocked rail tracks in Calais. Eurostar was forced to cancel 2 services. Steps are being taken to improve the health of more than 1 million NHS staff in England. The aim is to cut the amount of time staff lose to sickness. Currently, sick pay costs almost £2.5 billion a year. 3 new free schools for the 3 counties have been approved by the government. They include a new secondary school for Luton and several primary schools in Hertfordshire. Our political reporter Paul Scoynes has more.
St Anne's High School for Girls will open in Luton in 2017 and take 750 students when full, specialising in sciences, technology, engineering and maths. 2 religious schools are planned for Hertfordshire, the Hearts International Christian School in Welwyn Garden City, taking 630 4 to 11-year-olds, and the Jewish Yavneh Primary School in Boreham Wood, set up by the Yavneh College Academy. The 3 schools are among 18 being announced across the country by the Department for Education.
Aylesbury Vale District Council is hoping to become the first council in the country to launch its own online community lottery. The weekly draw would raise money for local groups with a jackpot of up to £20,000. Councillors are due to make a decision on whether to go ahead with the lottery next week. In sport, Luton Town are through to the second round of the Johnston's Paint Trophy after last night's 2-1 home win against Leyton Orient. Danny Green opened the scoring in the first half with a late goal from Stephen O'Donnell. And the weather, some sunny spells this morning with scattered showers developing later, some heavy showers with the risk of thunder and highs of 18 degrees Celsius. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Justin.
Good morning, boss.
Oh, okay. Now we have actual breaking news, dear listeners. We have actual breaking news. I haven't got a script for pen. Can you give me a little scriptage? I'll read an old one just to kind of set the scene. Why is my computer going autocorrect? Where is it? Where have you put it? There, thank you. The fight to save Penn School is over. Administrators confirmed last night that the last deal on the table hasn't worked out. You know what Penn School is. It's the school for deaf and autistic kids where they were struggling in other schools, they were bullied in other schools, they were ignored, or they had, in one case, had stickers put on them to indicate they were, in inverted commas, special. And Penn School transformed their lives. Well, it's closed. The deal is not happening. And throughout this whole thing, the last few months, we've been trying to speak to... Let me just read this name of trustees out. We've been trying to speak to some of these. These are the trustees of the charity that runs the school. Paul Ricketts, Hugh Forsyth. By the way, those guys are listening. Morning. Carrie Allen, Dara Gallick, Wendy Moyer, Kerry Lee McLeish, and Timothy Layfield. They are the trustees. Most of the times, certainly at the start of this story, every time we cover this story, we invited at least one of those people to come on. They always refused. It's always been an open invitation. Instead of talking to us, they spoke to one of their mates who runs a PR company in Soho. Didn't pay him, but he would send out press releases. So instead of addressing us or speaking to the parents, they got a PR company. Well, Justin, you have done the impossible. This morning, you have spoken to not one, but two of the trustees from Penn School. This is incredible.
Well,
what happened?
I've been to all the meetings before with the parents. None of the trustees have been there. Paul Ricketts spoke to Paul this morning.
Yep.
Picked up the phone. Yeah, good morning. Hi, it's Justin here from BBC Three Counties Radio. And before you knew it, the phone was slammed down.
Okay, that's Paul Ricketts.
Paul. Okay.
But you spoke to Paul.
Yeah, for about 2 seconds.
Okay.
He said hello.
But you actually had a conversation with was it Hugh?
Yeah, Hugh Forsyth.
Who I've emailed in the past and hasn't returned my emails. Okay.
The chair of the trustees. The phone did go down, but we had a conversation for about 60 seconds or so. Yeah. I said, Hugh, I said, we'd love to get you on the programme this morning. Obviously now we know that the school won't be opening up and carrying on as an ongoing concern. Would you like to come on and talk? He said, I won't be talking to you. I said, okay, can I ask why? He says, your broadcasting has been highly offensive.
Now, is he speaking about your Saturday show? Because that I could understand. Or is he's speaking about the way we've covered this story?
He's speaking about the way...
Say that again.
Okay. He said our broadcasting about this story and the way we have spoken about the trustees has been highly offensive. I said, Hugh, we have offered you the opportunity to come on this programme time and time again. Now we know the school will not be carrying on. Would you like to join us on the programme after 8 o'clock today? He said, no, I won't be. I said, can I ask why? He then said that we've been extremely abusive. Now,
well, if we've been abusive, Mr. Forsyth, I look forward to receiving the Ofcom complaint and your lawyer's complaint, because we haven't, mate. We haven't. I think you've been rude and disrespectful to the parents of those poor kids who have been treated absolutely appallingly. Forget talking to us. Although that would have mean you could have addressed them all in one fell swoop. Forget talking to us. You didn't even have the decency to stand in a classroom in front of all those parents and explain what happened. You didn't have the decency to do that. I find that offensive and abusive.
So, just lastly, I then said, OK, would you like again to join us on the programme after 8 o'clock? At your convenience, to talk to our listeners. I won't be talking to you. I said, no, you'll be talking to our listeners who have got a keen interest in this story. He then said, no, I won't. I said, can I just relay why you won't be coming on the programme? No comment. I said, but can I just ask you again why you won't be coming on to talk to us this morning? No comment.
Oh, tough guy, Hugh.
No comment. And then the phone was put down. So that is what happened in the last, 15 or 20 minutes. Extremely disappointing.
We're going to go to... We've got someone we've got to go to in a second, very quickly. But you were saying, is it your dad that's a trustee of a charity?
He is, yeah.
And he was saying that if there was a situation that may potentially look bad for whatever reason... He would come out and he'd come and meet the people that he was responsible to.
Again, we are not for any minute here saying they've done anything wrong.
No.
But the reason this story has got so big and ended up on national radio is because of the silence. If the trustees...
Silence and the press release, trustees.
And going to a PR company.
That backfired.
I know other people as well who are trustees in charities, and they said to me, if they were in this situation, they would come on and explain the facts, and that would be it. We wouldn't be in this situation.
And if they'd done that 2 months ago... We wouldn't be calling them out on air.
There's 50 minutes left. If you're listening, and I know someone will be.
Yeah.
03459 455
No, they won't. They won't. The arrogance of those people. They won't know I'm saying this. The arrogance of those people to not even speak to those parents. That is disgusting. Mr. Paul Ricketts, Hugh Forsyth, Carrie Allen, Dara Gallick, Wendy Moyer, Kerry Lee McLeish and Timothy Layfield. I think that is absolutely just disgusting.
I mean, as I say, just lastly, I got into all the meetings with the parents. They wanted me there. The head teacher turned up and, she took some tough questions. But sadly, the trustees weren't there. They won't talk to us this morning. Okay. Just very disappointing.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for making those phone calls. We can speak to Yaqub Hanif, who was a teacher at Penn. Morning, Yaqub.
Morning, everyone.
You've caught me in a bad mood. You heard that there. The two of the trustees, one hung up and one said that he thought our broadcasting, our coverage of this story was abusive.
Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. That's been their attitude the whole way through. At least they've been consistent in that.
They haven't spoken to the teachers at any point, have they?
Absolutely not. I mean, from the very start, they sat there, just stared at us, wouldn't answer any questions, and they've been, they just disappeared and said that it's not a problem anymore.
Yaqub, you taught IT at Penn, and you kind of read the signals early on, and you managed to find yourself another job, didn't you?
Yeah, that's correct, Ian. In fact, I'm about to start in about half an hour, but I'll be honest with you, Ian, I'd rather be going back to Penn today to start, another academic year. But, that decision was taken out of our hands. And even now, not all the staff have been able to find new jobs for September.
So you're one of the... Is it day one today? I get so confused with the bank holiday. It just throws me completely off my treadle. Is it day one today or day two?
It depends on where you are.
For you?
For me, it's day one today, yeah.
Day one, okay, all right. And are you looking forward to it?
Well, yes and no, because, yes, it's a new start, but, just like the kids, we have to start all over again, getting to know a whole set of new school, a new way, and so there is a bit of nerves there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Isn't that funny? I remember being a kid at school and starting a new school or starting a new year and the nerves. But it's interesting to think that the teachers have got the same thing going on. Yaqub, listen, I appreciate the times that you've spoken to us. And I wish you the very best of luck at your new school. I'm sure it'll be a wonderful success for everyone.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks to everyone out here, Three Counties for the support for everyone out there.
Yaqub, best of luck. Thank you, mate. He's one of the good teachers. There's a lot of them about. He's one of the good... I mean, him saying, oh, well, yeah, I've got a job and stuff, but I'd rather be at Penn.
And as he mentioned there, some of his contemporaries haven't managed to get jobs yet. Some of them have lost their home because they were boarding there at Penn School.
Saying that... How did he describe our broadcasting of the coverage of this?
Offensive, first of all, and then he said we've been abusive.
We've not been abusive. Not been abusive in the slightest. If you say we've been abusive, I look forward to receiving the email from Ofcom and the letter from your solicitor, because we haven't, and you know that's nonsense. You just don't like what we've been saying.
But you've had the chance to counter it at all points, and you still have, if you're listening.
Hi, 03459 455 555. No, all the texts are still banging on about same old. So yeah. What?
Well, no, Trev says that he sent his text through saying you were being awful to Hannah while you was in the early stage of the conversation. He thinks you softened at the end. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Trev.
John, I didn't quite get the names of these trustees of Penn School. Could you read them out? So I don't have anything to do with them.
Happy to read those names out again. These are the trustees. Mr. Paul Ricketts, who hung up on Justin as soon as he mentioned his name. Fair play. I've done the same. Oh, Mr. Lee not live here no more.
Really?
Mr. Hugh Forsyth, who said that we've been abusive.
Yeah, we've been. It was offensive broadcasting, and we've been abusive.
Okay, thank you, Hugh. Carrie Allen, Dara Gallick, Wendy Moyer, Kerry Lee McLeish, Timothy Layfield. Those are the trustees who couldn't look the parents in the eye. BBC Three Counties radio is the just doing a little bit of the old computer magic. That looks. Does that look right? Does that look right, Kelly?
Yeah, that's bang on.
Is it bang on?
Yeah.
Let's go bang on then.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's slow on the M1 southbound around junction 12 for Flitwick, and the A1M is busy southbound 2 around junction 9 for Letchworth towards junction 7 for Stevenage. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's busy between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. The A41 southbound in Kings Langley has queues just before the M25 junction 20, and in Charleston on the A1 Great North Road there are queues approaching the Black Cat roundabout now from the St Neots junction. On the train departure boards there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
And just to clarify, because we're getting so many texts and tweets about this, where was this horse? Was it a horse or several horses?
Oh, there was just 2.
Well, so okay. Two very powerful creatures. And
they had to close the whole road for it.
Which road was it?
I tried to remember now. I think it was the A41. It's in Hertford.
Okay.
I'm having a look
And the
now.
situation.
It was the A10.
Okay, the situation is now stable.
Yes.
I bet it was a bit of a mare when it was going on.
I think it was, because they had to close the road. It's busy now on the A441.
But it's stable. The situation of horses is stable.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great, Sammy. Thank you so much,
Because
Sammy.
they're gone. They're back in the stable.
Yeah, they're back. So it's stable.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's
I'd
great.
imagine.
Thank you so much indeed. I really appreciate that. It's Christmas every 15 minutes on this show. 8:17. It is, what's the day? Wednesday, the 2nd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. It's been confirmed Penn School near High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire won't reopen after administrators failed to find a buyer. Milton Keynes Council says it's doing all it can to tackle homelessness in the town after claims from a local charity they were underestimating the scale of the problem. And new free schools have been approved by the government in Luton, Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood.
On BBC One.
I've never been to India before, and I thought, rather than dip my toe in the water and slowly acclimatise, I thought I'd just dive in.
Sue Perkins explores one of the most exciting and vibrant cities on earth.
This is Calcutta. It's like an exploding grenade of colour and sound and quite a lot of smell, if I'm honest.
Telling the story of India's past, present and future.
14 million people live here in what was once the absolute jewel in the crown of the British Empire. So welcome to the City of Joy!
Calcutta with Sue Perkins, part of India season. Tonight at 9 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone if you want to give us a call. Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze coming up in, I'm going to say 14 minutes. And we'll play the new Squeeze single as well. It's a doozy, guys. It's an absolute doozy. Any texticles?
Let's have a look.
81333. Start your text 3CR. Otherwise, it ends up in some other loser's text machine.
Adam in Hemel says, offensive and abusive. If that's what the administrators think of a local radio show doing above and beyond for a local school, then it's no wonder Penn had no chance. Adam from Hemel.
Thank you, Adam from Hemel.
Someone else wanting the trustees' names. No, I mean, really?
Yeah, we've done that.
Okay.
That's all good.
Patton Houghton Regis talking about the homelessness problem in Milton Keynes specifically. That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
This country's on meltdown. The answer to our housing problem years ago was to... Have a guess what he's going to say.
Send them to war.
Control our borders.
Close.
Our governments have failed us. The answer to homelessness is to stop cutting benefits to the vulnerable and get rid of the bedroom tax and stop all immigration into this country. Now for something more simple, build more houses.
Oh. Okay. I've got a pic. I want to talk about this picture of a man playing a didgeridoo to a pregnant woman's tummy in a bit.
He's shooting that straight into her.
That's just gonna. That kid's not going to want to come out. We'll get there in a second. Let's carry on talking about Penn School. As we know, it's closed and there is not a buyer. And we continue our abusive coverage. At one point, the families involved in Penn School tried to raise £1 million in an effort to buy the school themselves. Well, that didn't work. Amy Clark set up the family's crowdfunding page and joins me now. Morning, Amy.
Morning. Hi.
How much did you get in the end?
Well, altogether we raised just under £11,500. It was literally just shy of 11,500.
So a good go, but significantly less than the £1 million that you needed.
Yes, yeah. It was a shame, but we gave it our best shot.
And well done, and no one can
Yeah.
criticise you for having a go. Your sister, is it? Am I right? Your sister that went to Penn, wasn't it?
That's right. Yes.
How? What's the situation with her today? Because we know that Penn School, as a viable prospect, is now gone. That is not happening. And some families were kind of hoping that Penn would reopen, and they were holding off finding new schools. What's the situation with your sister?
Well, my sister doesn't have a school to go to, so she won't be starting a school this week. My mum's, she's viewed the schools in the near area and, the closest ones that we have around this way, but there's nothing suitable in this area for Rebecca. So my mum's going to have to start looking further afield, but we don't really know how that's going to work because my other sisters still go to school in Wickham. So, it's a massive task now that my mum's going to have to start looking.
Where does I wouldn't even have a clue where to start looking. Does she Google it? Does she phone up the local council? How does it work?
Well, my mum will probably just have to, do her own kind of searches, basically. She was recommended a few schools by other parents and, people that she knows. And then she just has to go from there and see what sort of comes up.
So lots of kids starting school yesterday and today. Rebecca's still at home, is she?
She is, yes. Like my other sisters go back this tomorrow and I think Monday. And then Rebecca's just going to be at home for now. And we're just going to have to, do some work at home with her until something comes up.
Do you know what? I was so relaxed then, I nearly swore. I'll rephrase it. It's a rotten situation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's awful.
I wish you and Rebecca and your mum and the rest of your family the best of luck, Amy. And well done you for trying to change things. You had a go. Not everyone has a go.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Take care. Best of luck. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. So, did you see the picture of... I got called a misogynist for this the other day, so I'm going to say it again because it's not misogyny at all. It's fact.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay. Did you see the picture of Tamara Eccleston, the billionairess? The billionairess. Breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Right. But it wasn't like her out at, in Nando's or, in Primark or, in the shopping centre.
No.
It was a really expensive photo shoot. It's her wearing, I think, a leather jacket, nothing underneath it looked like a sort of, it may have been a leather skirt, kind of a skirt that was kind of had strands on it. Baby up to breast. Mm-hmm. Nothing funny about breastfeeding, mate. It's very serious.
No, I'm just laughing at your description of a skirt.
It's good. Well, it's
I
like
think you meant fringing rather than strands.
No, I meant strands.
Because strands make me think that she needed a cotton cut off.
No. And she's got like the hair, the makeup is done, and she's doing.
Oh, she's doing duck face.
She's doing a sexual pout.
Oh, you can't do that with a baby there.
No, you can't do that with a baby there. It was completely inappropriate. She's there doing a mouth open, lips pointing, your duck face, lips pointing forward. And we all know what that's suggesting. It's ingrained into our DNA to know what that's suggesting. Yeah, exactly. Don't mime it. That's horrible. And she was doing. You can't breastfeeding.
Do you know what I looked like when I was breastfeeding in public? I looked like a woman fighting under a poncho.
You look like a. I bet I'm going to describe what I think you look like. A French boy stealing a baby. Am I right?
I had long hair then, so I looked like Captain Caveman stealing a baby.
It's just.
But I try and do it subtly. But the baby had other thoughts and wanted to break free, and I tried to be subtle about it.
It was just
a fight in a tent.
You cannot combine the sexual imagery that her face was portraying with the Mother Earth imagery of breastfeeding a baby. I think you should breastfeed anywhere apart from in photo studios while you're doing sexy faces. Have you seen? You got the picture in front of you?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Whenever I see a woman successfully breastfeeding in public without, flashing the world, I always think, fair play, good girl. I could never do it. So I stopped trying and went somewhere private.
There is that awkward moment, though, when you're just kind of, when you just look at people, but you're not really looking at them. And then what have you found? What she Googled there?
Nothing. My friend, we were all sitting together, all the NCT women. And my friend's dad came in to see the babies.
Yeah.
And only one of us was nursing at this point.
Okay.
But he went over to her and gave her a little kiss. And it was while he was down there that he realised what she was doing.
Why would he kiss her?
On the cheek.
Again, what? Why? But again, why would you kiss
Well, he went round kissing everyone, saying hello to everyone.
in a breastfeeding class?
No,
Your
it
dad's
wasn't-
some
it was-
kind of deviant.
No, it wasn't my dad. It was my friend's dad, and he'd gone to her. We were at her house.
I would
so as far
never
as he was concerned, it was a load of women having a coffee.
Oh, it's still weird to go around kissing them. I'd go around. All right.
No.
I'll give the hand up. All right.
He also stroked.
Maybe a point.
He also
All right.
stroked the baby's cheek. That's the point when he
Aye.
realised what was going on, that she was having milk with her coffee.
It's the worst thing when you're just staring, you're just looking at someone, but you're not really taking them in.
could never do it.
And then you go, oh my God, there's boob.
I could never do it, and I could certainly never do it in front of my dad.
Anyway, look at this plum. For most expectant mothers, it's probably not their idea of the perfect way to give birth. But the latest trend for some women is to have the didgeridoo played to their bump.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Play the
Stay there.
didgeridoo played to their bump? Are you joking? These are just some of the unusual methods mothers are turning to. Documentary. Women are spending upwards of £650 for session.
How much?
650 quid for
Hang on.
sessions, including body painting,
You can do that at home.
dolphin swimming, and sound therapy.
Oh, stop it.
Sound therapy. I need the sound of a car engine starting for the sound therapy. Some others to be... Oh, for crying out loud. Here we go. Nut job alert. Some others to be even use crystals to divine information about their fetus because they do not trust ultrasound scans.
Oh,
Damn you, science. Dorina Roisin and her husband, Maika Sun Eagle, run a spiritual healing centre in Hawaii. They use the rhythm of music in the hope it will make Roisin's labour easier.
Good luck with that, guys.
I'm going to read this sentence, right, and I'm not going to comment on it. And we're going to go. We're going to go to travel. I'm just going to read this sentence. Mr. Sun Eagle is seen playing a didgeridoo to his wife's bump.
Get a punch in the face from
Now,
me.
here's this. We'll discuss this afterwards because I have no idea what this means.
Oh dear.
Miss Roisin is planning a dolphin-assisted birth.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's busy on the M1 southbound around junction 12 for Flitwick, and the M25 anti-clockwise is busy between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for South Mims. On the A40 Western Avenue, it's busy into London from the Denham roundabout towards Acton, and in Chawston on the A1 Great North Road, there are queues southbound between the Eton Soken turnoff and the Black Cat roundabout. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, cards and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Jessica Cooper. The fight to save Penn School near High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire has been lost after administrators failed to find a buyer. The special school went into administration in July and many parents are still struggling to find alternative school places for their children. Milton Keynes Council says its officers are working through the night to try and house homeless people in the town. Help Our Homeless MK says close to 150 people are in need of somewhere to live. NHS staff are to be offered health checks to try to cut absence rates. Staff sickness is thought to cost the NHS in England almost £2.5 billion a year. And new free schools have been approved by the government in Luton, Welwyn Garden City and Boreham Wood.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Luton Town are through to the second round of the Johnstone's Paint Trophy after last night's 2-1 home win against Leyton Orient. Danny Green opened the scoring in the first half with a late goal from Stephen O'Donnell, but the Hatters assistant manager Terry Harris was disappointed with Jack Marriott's red card.
If it was a gesture to the crowd, which I said, one thing, a gesture to the crowd, then obviously it's inciting the crowd, and I understand. So, he's a young lad. He certainly won't do it again, and we just need to sort of sit down and talk to him. And it's disappointing because I thought we worked ever so hard, and it just took a little bit of a gloss off for him. But I said he'll learn.
It was a busy transfer deadline day for Watford yesterday. Jeff Doyle has the details.
Young Belgium under-21 international striker Obi Allaire signed a 5-year deal from Bruges. Midfielder Adelaine Guardiola agreed a 3-year deal from Crystal Palace after 2 loan spells last year. And Colombian international forward Victor Ibarbo signed a season-long loan from Roma. Matej Vidra, Gabriel Angela and Miguel Leun all left on season-long transfers to Reading, QPR and Porto, respectively.
Andy Murray is safely through to the second round of the US Open. The British number 1 beat Australian Nick Kyrgios in 4 sets. Next he faces Frenchman Adrian Manarino. And in boxing, Hatfield's Billy Joe Saunders WBO World Middleweight title challenge against Andy Lee has been postponed again. Saunders says he's frustrated that the fight won't happen on Saturday the 10th of October, but after receiving a cut eye in sparring, there's nothing he can do. That's the latest news and sport. There's more from me at 9.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right, morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Ian.
Morning, Vivian. You all right?
Yep, I'm fine.
What you got for us?
Well, I've been listening for ages about this Penn school closing, and I have got a special needs grandson, so it means a lot to me, you know, that it's happening. And on East Anglia last night, the 6 o'clock East Anglia News, they had this incredible school there.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic what it's got there for the children. And it is closing down because it hasn't got enough children there. It hasn't got enough pupils. And apparently it's Ofsted have given it the incredible, marks and everything. So why on earth aren't these places coordinating with each other?
I just don't know, Vivian. I mean, it's a world that luckily, personally, I'm not particularly familiar with.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. There doesn't seem to be any kind of, joining of the dots, does there?
I know. Well, to have this place closing down because there isn't enough pupils is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how on earth do you get them all together to get, work themselves out properly? Because all these children from Penn School could have gone there.
Well, Vivian, I just don't know, and it does my nutting.
It does mine.
It does my absolute nutting. Vivian, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Is Glenn not answering his phone?
Well, his wife just answered. She's making sandwiches for the kids. It's the first day back at school. She went, flipping heck, hang on a minute. She's going to get him to give us a ring back.
Well, this is what, you don't get much more British. Oh, I've lost the new single. Hang on a minute. Let me find the new single.
All right, well, he won't know about this because...
Oh, blimey. We could lie and pretend that we've played it, couldn't we?
Yeah, okay, so...
No, I've got it on my computer. And let me go to date added, because I don't think I'd labelled it as Squeeze. Let me go past all that Brian Will... Oh, flippin' heck. Oh, this is looking really bad, isn't it? I mean,
he's not here, so maybe it's a fortunate thing.
Well, no, but I want to play the new single, because the new single's good.
Can you remember how it goes?
I'm really up the junction.
No, that's the old single.
That's the old one.
Yeah.
California Girls. That's me interviewing the Divine Comedy.
Oh, I like them.
Yeah, they're good. It's from another radio station. I'd probably get in trouble if I...
Can we not nip the start and end off?
Squeeze. If I type in Squeeze on my computer...
Careful.
Oh, no, it's... I don't think I've... Oh, flipping heck. And they sent me this weird download thing where you can only download it... Hang on, PQ... Where's Squeeze? Aren't even coming up on here. Oh, no, this is awful. What can I do? What can I do to fill, Catherine? I've got to go online and try and find it. Hang on a minute.
We can talk about dolphins and babies.
You talk about dolphins and babies. So she wanted a dolphin-assisted birth. What's wrong with having, a nurse-assisted birth.
Exactly. Well, first time around, you'll try anything that anyone tries to peddle you, and you go to these baby fairs and that, and realise it's not like specialist rides and stuff. It's actually them trying to sell you stuff, like the Ideal Home Show, but for tat. And then you kind of realise it's all nonsense. I did buy a hypnobirthing CD once, and I think it worked in that it sent me to sleep within a good 2 minutes because her voice was so boring.
The old hypnobirthing CD.
But I don't think it made it any easier.
That is just, I mean, those things don't work in the slightest, do they?
Janet in Cheshunt says, are all these first-time mums, I wonder, after 2 you realise nothing makes it easier? Janet in Cheshunt, wise words.
Great words.
From someone who's been there. Hi, everyone at Three Counties. This is from, I don't know, we've got no name here, but it says, hi, everyone at Three Counties, totally heartbroken this morning. Penn was the most special place in the world. I hope those who have allowed this to happen and ruined so many wonderful children's and parents' lives can live with themselves. I know this will haunt and upset me for a lifetime. Shame on you. Thank you, especially Justin, for all your support. And on a positive note, says Andrew, thanks to all the early morning crew who entertained me and many others out here. I even get up early just to listen. Thanks again, Andrew.
Well, if only he paid us in some form of, I don't know, tax or licensing or something. That's what we need.
I mean, good vibes are great, aren't they? But they're not going to get my babies bathed.
They are not going to feed us, for goodness sakes. I can't find this flipping song. Oh, and I had it on my computer. They sent me this weird link, okay, the PR company, where you can only download it. You can only download it once, and then the link dies.
Oh.
Okay, and so I downloaded it, and I've just gone back to it, and I can't download it anymore.
Shall we call the PR people?
No! I don't want them to know that I've failed. Dealey. Geezer. Glenn Tilbrook's not answering his phone. He's on the toilet or something. I've lost the new single.
Yeah.
I've lost it.
Yeah.
You've taken this to the streets.
Yeah.
The Squeeze and the Tilbrook, you've taken it to the streets.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn, I'm sure is listening to this right now. I think we're getting him lined up to come on the phone.
Yeah.
A music legend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Squeeze. Love Squeeze.
I put together one of my little packages on Glenn Tilbrook, his music, and also some reaction on the streets to Glenn and the fact he will be coming on the programme this morning. Here's what happened, boss. When it comes to giving, Glenn Tilbrook has given us lots.
And everybody tells me that it's cool to be a cat, cool for cats.
Along with Chris Difford, they gave the world songs like this, which was cruelly denied a UK #1 by Art Garfunkel's Boring Bright Eyes. Others included Up the Junction, Hourglass and Labelled with Love, just to name a few. To the streets we go, and just the mention of Glenn's name lit up a dreary Dunstable. Sharon, you are a massive Glenn Tilbrook fan. What is your message to Glenn, who is listening to this right now? Now stop the giggles. What's your message to Glenn?
Are you single?
I'll put it to him. Thank you very much. Sheikh, how are you this morning, boss?
Yes, I'm all right.
Sheikh, I never thought it would happen with me and the girl from
Clapham.
You know your stuff, Sheikh.
Thank you.
I'm going to call you a top Sheikh.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mick, when I say Glenn Tilbrook, when I say Squeeze, what comes into your brain?
It's cool for cats. Up the junction. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Glenn is listening to this right now. What's your message to Glenn?
Well, I hope he's doing all right and he's still carrying on with his music.
I'll pass on the comps.
Yeah, righty, all right. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
See you, matey.
Glenn Tilbrook, respect to you, sir. I love you. The streets love you. I label you a music legend.
Well, he may be a music legend, Justin, but he's a music legend that doesn't put things down in his diary. He's supposed to be talking about Burko Fest, which I think is celebrating the Speaker of the House of Commons on Saturday the 12th of September in it's in Berkhamsted, so that would be what the Burko is. I don't know whether John Burko is going to be there. Maybe it's Sally Burko. Maybe it's Portly Women in Sheets. I don't know. And then he's supposed to be talking about his new album.
Yeah. I did think this morning when you said Glenn Tilbrook live on the show at 8:30. I thought rock and roll start at 8:30. What's going on here?
Do we play the new single or do we ban it? Do we do a Mike Reed and ban it?
Hang on a second. Okay, I'm going to put some deep thought into this. Yeah. Glenn. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Glenn.
Oh.
Glenn.
Oh, he's sending out a vibe.
Special powers.
Sorry, Glenn.
Please phone in. You will be coming on the show at some point between now and 9. It's going to happen.
Let's see if the daily vibe is strong with this one.
Enough of London, let's take a break.
We'll take a break by the rolling sea. The perfect summer, just you and me. Up in a clear sky, just feel the breeze. We'll take some shelter beneath the trees. All of the summer, the sun's beating down.
Well, dear listener,
In the country.
Squeeze is back, and they're sounding good. But I've got to be honest, Glenn Tilbrook, you need a new diary or something. What the hell's going on with you, man? What are you doing?
I'm out and about. I'm starting work, aren't I?
Oh, but mate, I know it's the first day back at term for everybody, young and old. So God bless you for joining. How you doing, Glenn? You all right?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Very good
I
indeed.
cannot tell you how exciting it is. There's a new Squeeze single and there's a new album out.
It's very exciting. It's one of those things, you know. I suppose I could say I never thought it would happen, really, because I didn't. But here we are. We've got an album, and furthermore, it's great. I know I would say that, but it is.
Well, hang on a second. Let's put this to test. You say it's great. That must mean that you think you've done a few stinkers in the past.
No, I think that we sort of tailed off towards the end of the last time we were together. You know, I mean, this is the third time we've got back together again now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think there's no point in doing a record unless it's the best thing that we've ever done, and I think this is the best thing we've ever done.
Oh, God bless you for that. I've only heard the single, and it's flipping brilliant. This is strangely the soundtrack to the Danny Baker show, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Cradle to the Grave.
That's right.
How on earth is there a whole series about... I mean, I've read the books and they're brilliant and I can't wait to watch it. How did you get involved with that?
I had flu maybe 4 years ago, and I spent 3 days in bed. And that's when Daddy's book just first came out. And I read it, thought it was brilliant. We have previous together, you know. I've known him since, you know, we were in our teens. I called him up and said, look, I've never said this to anyone before, but we should really be involved with this. We, you know, our history is a shared history. I know what that world was like, and me and Chris can write for that. And it sort of it followed on from there. The series itself is brilliant. You know, having Peter Kay play Danny's dad.
Yeah,
you know,
that's genius. You know? Yeah, exactly.
It's really funny and it's poignant, and it's about the series. You know, on a wider basis, it's about family values, and that's a lovely subject that we all know about.
How do you get the band back together? Do you just send a text out to everyone that's marked Squeeze in the phone and saying, "Hey guys, we should. I've got some new songs."
Text out to everyone that's marked Squeeze in the phone, and there'll be about 400 people.
How do you do it? Do you just ring around? What's the deal?
You know, we've been playing together for a while. We've been like the best Squeeze tribute band ever. But you know, it's a weird thing crossing the divide between doing old songs and creating something new.
Yeah.
That's really, you know, we've been back together since 2007, but this project really gave us the impetus to do something new, and that, you know, for that I'm really grateful.
I saw you lot flipping out. I'm going to age both of us now. Oh, geez, it was probably 26, 27 years ago.
Okay.
Supporting the Kinks at the Alexandra Palace.
Oh, right, okay, I remember that gig.
It was a good gig. How miserable is Ray Davies in real life?
Yeah, quite.
I've interviewed him. He's hard work, isn't he?
You know, Chris and I presented a Q award to Ray and Dave Davies. This is in the last days of them actually speaking. But so we were at a table with them, but they wouldn't speak to each other. They would only speak to us.
And were you and Chris speaking at the time?
It was more Ray than Dave.
Were you and Chris speaking at the time? Because that would have been...
Yeah, we were getting on fine.
Okay, because that could have been W. Dave, could you tell Chris that I want him to speak to Ray? It could have been awkward. OK, you've got some gigs coming up as well. I think you're doing Milton Keynes sometime in September. I should have the dates in front of me.
Yeah, that's Tuesday, September the 29th.
Well done, well done.
Rehearsal.
I know. And you're also at Burko Fest. It turns out it's not about Sally Burko or John Burko. It's Berkhamsted Cricket Club on Saturday the 12th of September.
Yeah, I've done Burkofest before. It was really, really good. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to both of them.
Brilliant. Well,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing the album. And the series, the Cradle to the Grave, the show, I think it's tomorrow night, isn't it? It starts?
It is, it starts tomorrow night.
Brilliant. All right, listen, it's so nice to talk to you, Glenn, eventually. Thank you very much.
Cool.
And I hope the kids have a good day at school today.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, Glenn. Take care. Ta-ta.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. Glenn Tilbrook, ladies and gentlemen. Eventually.
Yeah.
What a nice bloke. I'm grinning a little bit there because I
Never got the chance to ask him about the time he took the whole audience outside.
Sorry about that, Kells.
That's all right.
You'll have to have that conversation with him off air. Right, where are we now? It's 8:45. BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is very busy southbound between junction 8 for Hitchin and 7 for Stevenage, and southbound on the M1 from junction 12 for Flitwick. It's looking very busy at the moment on the speed sensors where the roadworks are. The M25 anti-clockwise is slow from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 16 for the M40, and in Hemel Hempstead on Breakspear Way, that's busy from Leverstock Greenway towards the M1. In Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, there are queues at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and looking at the train departure boards, there are no delays at the moment causing any long queues. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Oh, hang on, the square
When
screen.
it comes to giving.
Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, blimey, look, that's Delia. I got all excited there. I thought we were there. Yeah, sure, why not? 8:46. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Administrators have failed to find a buyer for Penn School in Buckinghamshire after weeks of uncertainty for parents, staff and students. A Milton Keynes charity says the scale of the homeless problem in the town is being greatly underestimated, with close to 150 people in need of somewhere to live. And Aylesbury Vale District Council is hoping to become the first council in the country to launch its own online community lottery. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there, we've got a bit of mist and fog to start off with in some more rural spots. Elsewhere it's quite bright already. A few showers around today, particularly in the afternoon. They could be a bit on the thundery side, but sunny spells in between with highs of 17 degrees Celsius. Clear spells through the night with showers calming down and temperatures down to 8 degrees. And then a fair amount of sunshine around first thing tomorrow. Some showers through much of the day, but cloud builds through the morning, and then by the afternoon those showers will be becoming a little bit heavier. Not as heavy as today's though, with temperatures reaching 15 degrees Celsius. It's looking wet on Friday. We've got some showers around on Saturday, but it should be dry and fine on Sunday. That's your latest forecast.
Even if you can't get to the match,
Already, we're hearing stories of Watford fans saying that they are going to struggle to get here.
or listen to the commentary,
Got quick feet, hasn't he? Quick feet and good skill and good vision.
you can still keep up to date with your local team with Three Counties Sport.
There is the half-time whistle. It's 0-0. Plenty to ponder.
Follow us on Twitter to get all the team news.
There's two changes from the team that won at Barnet on Saturday.
Goals as they happen.
Trying to make room for the shot. Bury it into the corner of the net. Super goal from Luton Town.
And reaction at the final whistle.
Momentum changes very quickly in these games, and we're disappointed for that.
Twitter.com/BBC3CR and stay up to date with your local team.
034594555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call.
Just had a phone call from someone with a very mysterious, I'm going to say Eastern European accent, woman.
Yeah.
Sounded like, you know, your archetypal spy from the 1980s. And she made a really long point about, I think, about footballers' wages and Penn School and it being a disgrace that this money's floating around and they can't spend it on Penn School.
Yeah.
I said, thank you for that. What's your name, please? I'm not interested, was my name.
Oh.
So I think it might have been Moscow.
Now, who's this Kerry Davis? Was she one of the guests that decided she couldn't...
No. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of guests this morning who have agreed to come on and then haven't picked up their phones.
Yeah.
Now, the point is, Kerry Davis was going to be commenting on one of those guests.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't come on.
Yeah.
So there's very little point in having half an interview, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So we've said that we will we'll hold on. Kerry's very, very keen to come on, as evidenced by the text message there, I think.
Okay.
But we've said if we can reschedule, we'll do so and get both on at the same time, because it's worth hearing what she has to say, but only in reaction to what the other person
Stop
does.
the clock, name this film. Oh, no, hang on, not that. That's the Beach Boys. Hang on a second. Stop the clock. Name this film.
Oh, Sister Act.
Oh, straight in there. Straight in there. How did you know?
Because I was around.
I don't think I've ever seen the first Sister Act. I've seen
Back in the Habit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't just dive in with Back in the Habit.
I think I've seen. It was on Channel 5. It was only 10 minutes in. I thought, what the hell? I'll have some of this. I tell you what, I'm halfway through.
Lauryn Hill's in one of those.
Nuns can be so much fun. I tell you what, I'm halfway through, and it's brilliant. I had to stop it because it's much swearier than I remember. I'll do an impression from a film. Okay, what's the film? Okay. Okay. No, hang on. No, I'm just trying to pick a bit that's not sweary. I'm your attorney. I'm going to be your attorney, and I'm going to get you off this murder case.
Goodfellas?
No.
Godfather.
Go back one.
That would be the consigliere, wouldn't it?
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
No, but
Right.
I'm going to get you off this murder case, and How many cases have you dealt with? Well, this is my first murder case. How many cases have you dealt with in total? Well, it's the first time I've been in court.
Hey, yo! I don't believe you met my cousin Vinny.
Yay, my cousin Vinny!
I've not seen that.
Oh, Kelly. I've not seen it for years. It is a million times better than I remember. It's hilarious. So the Karate Kid, he's driving through Hicksville and he accidentally steals a can of tuna, right, by mistake. And the police pull him off and he's in a cell and they're questioning him about a murder. But of course, being police, they don't mention the murder. They just say, so why did you do it? He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... I just did it. I just did it.
Yeah. Classic crosswires.
Turns out he's confessed to a murder, right? And then they can't afford an attorney. It's just wonderful. Okay, you get your phone call. And so they're in the phone in the office and all the police are watching them. We can't... they're all corrupt down here. They're all taking backhanders. They're going to put... And then there's a bit where Joe Pesci goes in to the prison to question the other lad. This other lad's never met Joe Pesci before. He thinks he's there to... have some of that. We're going to do this. I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. We're going to do it and get out of the way, okay? Now sit down. I think I'd rather stand if you don't mind. It's brilliant.
We went through a gangster phase when I was in the sixth form. We all had gangster names.
Oh, and...
Guess what mine was? You'll never guess.
Probably something pretentious. Correct? Oh, I'm close.
No.
I'm close.
No.
Go on then.
Spanish Jackie.
Yeah, a bit pretentious. Why would you... But you're Italian.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Got a message?
It's important.
Got a message,
excellent.
What?
I'll tell you in 6 months.
Positive. Oh, okay. Oh,
No,
really?
no.
Oh,
No.
No. Everybody's having a baby. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Have a dolphin-assisted birth. Because those dolphins are so good at pulling babies out of women.
Listen, I remember a consumer case where a woman had her pelvis broken by a dolphin. You don't want to mess around with those guys.
Wowzers.
Starts out as fun and games. Everyone's bouncing the balls around and you end up squashed.
I don't get those big balls you're supposed to sit on. Steady on, Kelly.
I had one of those. I gave birth on one.
I don't get those back. They're supposed to be good for your back, but I find myself putting so much pressure on my back to maintain balance that I end up doing my back in, and it hurts worse.
You're not supposed to use your back.
Well, you've got to use something.
No, I'm using your core.
Cool.
Do you want my ball? I don't need it anymore.
No, I don't.
Slightly soiled.
They're a waste of money. First, here you go. This is my advice to first-time mums. Don't get the ball. The ball is nothing but a waste of money.
No, the ball was great. The ball was great. Don't listen to him. He was wasn't at the sharp end.
Don't get the ball.
I tell you what
it's
you
a
don't
waste
do,
of
though.
money.
I went to the NCT class, and do you know what they told us beforehand? When you go into hospital, take your own duvet, maybe some pictures, some cushions, things that smell like home, maybe some incense burners. You don't need any of that stuff. Don't take anything that you're not willing to burn afterwards.
Take a CD player. We took a CD player.
Well, actually, yeah, we could have done with that because all we had was a tape recorder in our delivery room, and the only tape available, Cliff Richard.
Oh, yeah. Scientists.
Do people remember what songs they gave birth to?
Well, if we were on another local radio station, we'd do that as a phone-in.
Which one? I'll ring in.
Coventry and Warwickshire. I said it! Scientists have found a fossilised...
A fossilised what?
Ooh, it's 6 foot long.
Oh.
Scientists have found a fossilised 6-foot sea scorpion, which lived 467 million years ago. Here's the thing, OK? You got the creationists who say the world is only 3,000 years old. OK. Then you've got the scientists that say, well, we've got something here that's 467 million years old. How do we know, and I know what you're going to say, but I've got a comeback for that. How do we know that that's 467 million years old?
Carbon dating.
Right, OK, but what?
Well, it's like uniform dating, but for paleontologists.
But OK, so we've built up this theory that we can carbon date stuff, but we've got nothing to prove. We have no proof that carbon dating is accurate.
I think they have.
Well, what is the proof?
I don't know, I'm not a paleontologist.
Exactly. Is that someone who really likes Michael Palin's solo work? We have not got the proof.
Like
if I did a late night show, we'd get 3 hours out of this.
Yeah.
We have not got the proof. In fact, jot that down. If I ever do a late night show, 3 hours on this. We have not got the proof that carbon dating is accurate. We believe it's accurate. Scientists believe it's accurate, but they have no actual proof that that is 467 million years old.
Yeah, they have, because it's a system. Otherwise, they'd just pull a number out of the air.
Catherine, you just said, well, maybe they have. How? OK, what's the difference between 467 million and, say, 468 million years old? It's a million years, right? That is a massive scope for error.
Since when have you been interested in accuracy?
Well, since I had to fill for the last 3 minutes.
Oh, right, OK. Yeah, OK, let's go into this.
Since I had to fill for the last 2.5 minutes. Since I had to fill for the last 2 minutes, 27 seconds.
She like that one too?
Yeah.
I do like him.
Well.
He is good.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. It's the full movie of Sister Act in HD. Thank you, YouTube. Cops are hunting. Now, this is local. Why have we not covered this? This is in Watford, in Hertfordshire.
Oh, I've heard of this one, yep.
All right, what's the story then?
A confidence trickster
OK, give me more.
in Watford.
Who
got away with cutting off 3 branches for 800 quid.
Yeah. Cops are... Well, I don't need to read it, yeah. Cops are hunting. This is... I mean, fair play. I think we should respect people. People like this should be working for the government. Probably are. They're not. But they should be. Probably are. Cops are hunting 2 con men who charged a homeowner £800 just to cut 3 branches off a tree in Watford. I mean... With balls that size and cunning and wile, you've got to respect that, haven't you? You've got to say, aye. Oh, they got me, but they got me in style.
£800.
3 branches. I mean, that is just...
It's expensive wood.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Well...
Why did he pay him?
Sorry?
Did he pay him first?
Probably. I don't know.
If he paid him after, then
Ask Kath, because she seems to know all about it.
Why did he
Off air. Unbelievable attitude.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Looking at the M1 southbound, it's slow from junction 12 for Flitwick where the roadworks are, and the M25 is also busy between junction 17 for Maple Cross anti-clockwise to junction 16 for the M40. In Beaconsfield on Amersham Road it's slow between Longbottom Lane and the A40, and Hoddesdon on the A414 westbound there are queues at Pepper Hill approaching the Amwell roundabout, and on the A1 Great North Road approaching the Black Cat roundabout it's very slow at the moment from the St Neots junction. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. That's it, guys. That's your lot. Thank you to Glenn Tilbrook. We got there in the end, didn't we? Don't forget, there is a best of podcast of this show. We get about 8,000 downloads a week. There you go. I've said it. I've said it out loud. I've said the numbers out loud. Therefore, it must be real. Kiss those chuddies. If you want it, you can go to the Three Counties website, or you can go to that there iTunes and type in Iain Lee and see what pops up. Back tomorrow at 6. Until then, from us, ta-ta!
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock. And on today's Big Phone-In, do you agree with Yvette Cooper that the UK should take in 10,000 migrants? Labour leadership candidate Yvette Cooper has urged the government to take a greater responsibility for the thousands of refugees crossing into Eastern Europe, Greece, Italy and France. She says Britain must be true to its values and history and take at least 10,000 people fleeing political turmoil in the Middle East. Ms Cooper has described Britain's stance on the immigration crisis as immoral, cowardly and not the British way. Well, this morning I want to hear your reaction to this. Do you agree with Yvette Cooper that the UK should take in 10,000 migrants? Here's my telephone number for your call. It's 03459 455 555.
This is the JVS Show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9 o'clock. Here's Jessica Cooper.
The headlines: Penn School to remain closed, MK Council working round the clock to tackle homelessness, and new free schools for Beds and Herts.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's been confirmed Penn School in Buckinghamshire will not be reopening after parents and staff have spent weeks trying to save it. The special school went into administration in July, just 2 weeks before the end of term. Amy Clark raised more than £10,000 on a crowdfunding page to try and keep the school open for students.
My sister doesn't have a school to go to, so she won't be starting a school this week. My mum's she's viewed the schools in the near area and there's nothing suitable in this area for Rebecca. My mum's going to have to start looking further afield, but we don't really know how that's going to work.
Eurostar services are continuing to be disrupted after migrants trespassed on the tracks at Calais. Hundreds of passengers have been stranded on carriages and 2 trains were forced to turn back overnight. Eurostar has had to cancel 2 services today. Our reporter Frankie McCamley is at St Pancras Station in London.
It's not clear how many migrants actually got onto the tracks, but it's understood around 2,000 passengers were affected last night. One person on Twitter saying on a Eurostar apparently surrounded by migrants being asked to listen out for people walking on the roof. Well, those delays are still being felt this morning. People being told to wait, and people are just queuing in the terminal behind me to wait for the next service. So the advice today is to check before you travel.
Milton Keynes Council says its officers are working through the night to try and house homeless people in the town. Charity Help Our Homeless MK says close to 150 people are in need of somewhere to live. Connor Edwards, who uses a wheelchair, was until recently living in a bin cupboard. He says the council weren't able to help him.
Sat in the council offices, crying my eyes out, and they said, look, there's nothing we can do. We've told you that we feel, we've looked into your case, we feel that you haven't got a priority for housing, for us to help